All right, folks. Get a good seat, get your water, get your popcorn, because we're bringing some more Omega Strikers to you on a nice silver platter. It is Omega Strikers Amateur Series, Season 8, Week 4. We've got some pretty great games coming up for you, and I'm also very glad to be talking all about them with Izanagi. How are you doing today?
Quite well, quite well. How are you doing yourself?
I'm great. I'm excited. I'm enjoying some Omega Strikers today with everyone. And coming up here for our first match of the stream, we have got EFGC versus Names 9 Fires. A couple players here I have seen around, but ultimately I myself, I'm not too familiar with these players, so very excited to see what they are going to bring to the table today.
I think I'm at least vaguely familiar with these players, but I can certainly say that I'm also not very knowledgeable about who they are, how they've made their way this far, but I'm very excited to see how the games are going to go.
True that. All in all, though, I mean, there's a lot of, well, I don't want to say stress, but there is a bit more stress than usual. This is week 4, the last week of the amateur series, so the last chance for these entering teams to actually qualify into the finals bracket later on. So it's on these teams to really make a good showing here, starting up in the Swiss. Currently, though, if what I'm seeing is looking correct, it looks like we might be going into Taiko Temple for our map for this game.
Taiko Temple. Ooh. I have mixed feelings about this map, honestly. I think some of the angles that you can get, or some of the angles that you can hit, are really creative. They kind of remind me a bit of Imizap with the center, but the corners and the drums on the sides kind of frustrate me sometimes when I'm going for dribble plays.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I personally love this map, though. It's there's like 2 maps with bounces in the game for me. It's this map and the one variation on Clarion. This is the one I actually like, though, because the bouncers aren't always constant except for the center. There's more ways to play around them, and I don't know, it feels like when I'm using the bouncers on this map, it feels at least more intentional than when I'm playing on something like Clarion Corp and everything just turns into chaos, let's say.
You don't like your Clarion Core scheduled pinball match?
No, not quite. If I want to play pinball, I'll go to an arcade. All right. I like to play pinball where the metal ball is what's being hit around, not me personally. And that's I don't know if everyone feels that way. That's where I'm at.
It's called immersion. You're getting into the game. You know, you pretend you're the pinball. It's like the whole baseball adage, like be the ball. Like.
I appreciate that you can have such a positive spin on it because I can't quite share the same feeling. This game might have been free, but I didn't pay $60 to block. I didn't pay the money to become a pinball. I paid to win, to hit the core, and make the core my pinball, to say the least.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't fault you on that. That's for sure.
Well, either way, we'll have to see. Taiko Temple is chaotic enough on its own. Which team decides to avoid becoming pinballs themselves? It is quite damage heavy if you are aware of where the drums are. Although the drums, ironically, on top of dealing damage, can also save you from being taken out if you're hit into a drum. So sort of a double-edged sword there. But I imagine either way, we will be seeing some damage from both of these teams coming up.
Damage comps are an old adage that I think I quite enjoy as a brawler player myself. I absolutely adore playing into damage comps, and I love playing as the damage comps, but man, it can get really hectic really fast with the KOs, especially on a map like Taiko Temple where you're bouncing everybody around, and sometimes they get saved, sometimes they don't, or sometimes you get like multi-KOs or even aces. It's crazy the kind of action that can happen on these fighting maps.
That is very fair. As a goalie, I'm not the best in damage comps because it always feels like it sometimes feels like if you aren't accounting for it and the other team's running the damage comp, then I get to watch my forward die out and suffer after. But I did recently pick up Atlas to be able to support my team more. And since then, I've been able to at least manage against damage comps a lot better. So I suppose it's more perspective at that point.
It depends. It also, like, you're kind of... The goalie that you play can influence a lot of how you play into damage comps, but also just in general, how you're managing your movement. Like, if you can bait people into shooting abilities at you when you know they're not going to hit you, I mean, that's as valuable a skill as any. But it looks like we're getting in right now. We're in queue, and we will see the contestants pick their strikers soon, so look forward to that.
But right before we get the strikers, once it loads up here, we'll get to see the incredible Awakening picks for this map. Well, I guess not yet. I forgot spectators can't see Awakenings yet. We'll see them soon. I'll say that much. But at the very least, so far, yeah, damage, definitely the name of the game, at least from what we're seeing on one team side here.
It looks like Icy Blue, or it looks like Names 9 Fire are going to opt for an Asher ban. We'll have to see what EFGC instead opts for. It looks like a Juliet ban will come out. We'll have to see how those two bans will shape their comps, but it looks like Names 9 Fire will be sticking with the comp that they had in pre-draft.
Yeah, so far, Names 9 Fire getting a good mix of damage and core control here with the Rasmus Zen, as well as the buff from Mako. It's a good thing they picked the Mako, though, as we are going to be seeing a classic X era coming here from EFGC. Very damaging, especially if the other team isn't ready for it. They won't get to Mako, but they will be picking up an Atlas here. Very good defense on this map, getting the core out of the corners, and as well as adding support, hopefully keeping X alive here. But, oh, it's an egoist start. Okay.
It's an egoist start. Everybody, we've got 6 egoists on Taiko Temple. Oh boy.
All I can say, Blue Lock Season 2, turns out it came out early because everyone's an egoist. Either way, though, starting out, nothing too excessive, although Firebird is going to end up hitting it to the Kunkler, going to be able to pick up the first barrier there. Is going to get some defense, but not quite. Memocarp also going to be using some of those era abilities. That's going to lead to a very good advantage here for ECGF. The FGC starting out, especially as they convert into a roll.
Definitely some pressure happening there, and not a whole lot of dropping back. It seems like OM Gershon, or it seems like Memocarp and Kunkler are on top of their offensive game, but here we are going into the second set of this game, or second round of this set.
Yeah, currently one barrier down, but now a barrier down on both sides. Neither team really has the full advantage. Great Mako ult is going to prevent the X from doing too much damage, but it is going to be coming back here. Era and X getting a lot of good shots onto the goal. We are gonna need to see some bigger clears here, although we are going to see a very good one, not for long though. The barrier gonna go down. Unfortunate strike shot moment here from Firebird. And with the pressure coming in from both sides, they are going to unfortunately lose that second point here.
It seems like the midfield of Names 9 Fire is seeming to struggle, or the midfield and goalie is really struggling with getting it out and getting it to Nyx 5, who isn't really getting a whole lot of these scoring opportunities like you would see.
Speaking of opportunities, Nyx 5 gonna have to watch out. With the X damage and the flip, they are gonna be taken out. Very, very good use of the flip there from Firebird to avoid the Era NATO taking the barrier, but still, with more resources on the line, gonna have to deal with this flip. Very good use of Icy Blue Sky to drop back there with the flip is gonna prevent the second barrier going down, and on top of that, Names 9 Fire is gonna be able to pick up a barrier of their own, putting this game in a bit more of a draw, as well with Era being a bit low here. They're going to be wanting to look for that kill if they want to keep this point alive.
Ooh, and a bit of an unfortunate bounce means that Kunkler will end up catching that ball. That extra size from X Maximus really giving him the advantage he needs in order to catch it, but it looks like these barriers are... both barriers are down for the side of Names 9 Fire. Core Flip will send it into the side of Names 9 Fire. It will pass up to Kunkler, who will end up scoring, and that is the first set of this 3-set game. Or this... Yep. Gosh, dang it.
You're fine. Pretty handily won there by EFGC. Granted, not too many differences in Awakenings here as we move into the draft. Both teams going to get some pretty big chances to deviate what they've got coming up here. I mean, Ore Ponderer on Mako, very classic pick, having those abilities available as well as denying it from Atlas. In general, though, both teams having a lot to work here. I mean, X is going to be bigger. Era's got Chrono, which is always a classic pick. And on top of that, Zen and Rasmus, they're going to be getting some speed, and the extra special from Rasmus is going to be some really good core control here, as well as some possible kills if we see any more lower stagger bars that can be hooked later.
Mako picking up that Orc Ponderer as well is huge because it means now that the enemy team, that being EFGC, now has to deny any future Orb Awakenings from getting through, unless they see a classic Orb Ponderer, Orb Dancer, and Orb Replicator, and even maybe a few of the other Orb Awakenings, but...
Well, currently there is Orb Ponderer and Orb Dancer available. So still pretty big pickups here if Firebird decides to go that route of scaling. But either way, though, Mako is more of a goalie that tends to play back and use those abilities to try and snipe at the core. So while I'm talking about that, though, Icy Blue and Nyx, doing some really great work with those passes around the enemy line, are able to pick up their first goal of the match. I'm very glad to see them bringing the fight back to EFGs.
Very solid coordination will always net you some good goals, but it looks like a core flip from OM Gersh will come out. It doesn't really get too much mileage, though, as another an Egoist proc. 2 core flips will come out. Unfortunately, nothing is gained off of them, but already some exciting gameplay. Another core flip will come in from the Kunkler, but the Mako wall will end up stopping any future plays from happening. Got 2 core flips in the net. Oh...
Speaking of core flips, going to see another one here from Era that is going to lead to both barriers being down on both sides. Great play there. Oh my gosh, going to get the core out of there, but as we say that, Nyx 5 already getting another chance. The core is moving quite too fast. Neither team's really getting too solid of a pick. Great strike shot there from Atlas to prevent any more plays, and it is just moving quite around. Abilities on both sides. I want to say that one team can really get the offensive advantage here, but neither team is really getting enough time for that to happen. And as I say that, unfortunate strike shot with Memocarp going to be picking up a really nice, clean goal here for the 1-1.
Strike shot is amazing on those goalies who can really use the extra range, but unfortunately, if you whiff it, it does mean that now the core is out of your control for a little bit unless it comes to you, which... double-edged sword, and it looks like Kunkler is using that added size to get in there, do some damage. The X Maximus along with the Bell Ringer doing quite a bit of work here. We'll have to see. They have a core flip on Memocarp. They're trying to get it out. OM Gersh playing some really solid defense here, but Kunkler getting a huge X secondary into hit, and it will go in. Unfortunately, knocked in by Icy Blue Sky's spin. Trying to save it, but just not enough. X Maximus. X is too powerful.
That is definitely true, though. Gotta watch out. Names 9 Fires is going to have a much bigger resource advantage coming into this round. Although Egoist is going to save some of that energy, with all 3 members being very close to flip, 2 of them already having it now, they'll have to really use those to their advantage. Gotta watch out, though. Mako secondary is not a catch-all tool. Kunkler is going to come in and get that second barrier, but it's also, I mean, we were talking about
we were talking about pinball earlier.
And there you see it, Conqueror being taken for quite a ride, and despite all of that, not going to be killed off. Great defense here from Omergosh, and Memocarp is going to prevent any barriers being taken, and Conqueror going to make the most of it, hitting it up. Mako, unfortunately, out of strike shots, out of abilities to prevent that. And EFGC going to be going in with more of an advantage here, up 2-0 in this game.
But we do see a huge pickup here, potentially for Firebird. There is an Orb Dancer on the table, and will they end up taking it? More than likely. Rasmus getting some extra size is huge, but we'll have to see. Ooh, they opt instead for the Unstoppable, which that is really good, but we'll have to see what else they take. Explosive Entrance, and perfect form on Zentaro. Not as good as it used to be, but definitely still a huge pickup for Zentaro. Some strong awakenings on both sides, and we'll have to see if Names 9 Fire can really turn this around here.
Yeah, starting out though, again, that X pressure, even though Rasmus did deny the size, that doesn't prevent the Conqueror from being quite a menace, and it's already helping lead to another double barrier here. Again, EFGC starting with a very good advantage, although Nyx 5 going to be trying to bring it back, grabbing that first barrier, going to be going for a second one here, using the abilities to go through. However, Omergosh, great defense here, is going to prevent the barrier from being taken. Names 9 Fire is back with control of the core, but they are going to have to watch out as Memocarp and Conqueror really getting control of that core back. As I say that though, Icy Blue Sky with an amazing secondary there, leading to both the barrier and the coal soon after.
That was a really good bounce. It bounced off of the corner bumper into the middle, and then the slow from Nyx 5's primary was actually what allowed Icy Blue to score that goal. But it looks like Icy Blue's getting a little bit of the X Maximus treatment right now. Looking a little OHP, a core flip will come out from Memocarp, and another barrier will unfortunately be taken by an unfortunate bounce. Both barriers down now for EFGC. Almost 3 core flips available for the side of Names 9 Fire. One is popped, goes down. Ooh, nice strike shot from OM Gersh. Will end up saving it. He still has his core flip, but Zentaro will say Zentaro will core flip. Another core flip coming out from Icy Blue, but another. A really good bounce from Icy Blue Sky, finding the demon angle and hitting it just fast enough that OM Gersh couldn't react, or Omar Gersh could not react fast enough with his strike shot.
I mean, that first strike shot though was honestly incredible. Omergosh really was able to prevent that one flip. It's unfortunate for their sake that they couldn't prevent both. As I say that though, very good at dribble here from Firebird, is going to waste the flip, but isn't going to be quite enough to avoid a goal. Fortunately, Nyx not going to be able to catch the core there, and an amazing pass from Conqueror to Memocarp is going to lead to the first point of the set for EFGC. They are not taking this lying down. They do not want Names 9 Fires to mount a comeback here.
EFGC really seems to be on top of their offense, and right as I say that, they take both barriers and a bounce in between. Really unfortunate for Names 9 Fires, but they do have both barriers in return. Core flips available for both Firebird and Nyx 5. Oh, but a really good bell ringer will send it right into the top where Firebird was not expecting it to be. 2-2 on match point for this set.
I've been saying it, you know, X rotational move. It's quite a power play, and I love seeing it work, although definitely has the opportunity to also backfire, but in this case, great work by Conqueror to bring it in. On top of bringing it in, is going to strike second. Always strike second. That's the golden rule. That is going to lead to a double barrier take here. It's now on Names 9 Fires to try and make a play. Is going to have some difficulty, though. The core moving a little too fast. Not enough space to get it out. And with the offense covering all those positions and passes, that is going to give EFGC a pretty sizable victory here, 3-0 for this game.
really, really solid offense from EFGC, and it looked like they were just on top of everything. Names 9 Fire really struggling to get it out into the midfield and up to their scoring. It seems like once they got it up to the scoring position, though, they were really able to transition it into points, but it just seemed like they were struggling with getting it out a lot of the time, and the offense of EFGC was just on top of every avenue that they could get out. It's crazy. They were covering nearly every clear opportunity. There were some really good just jukes and passing plays from the side of EFGC. Well done by both teams, but unfortunately it looks like EFGC does come out on top this time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, being able to cover so much of the map with the speed boosts is just very effective. And when you compare that to Mako Goli, who has a lot of coverage with the abilities, but is limited speed-wise due to having to charge those abilities, it's just really difficult to get yourself in positions to account for all those. Still, though, we did see some great double barriers from Names 9 Fires, so maybe in a different timeline, this game would have gone a lot differently if they just found more of those opportunities to convert into some bigger offense. But either way, shout out to both teams for playing this game. And, well, just either going to have to keep up that winning streak or make up for that loss in their next match. We'll have to check back to see how they do. Either way, though, there are more matches coming up. We are just going to take a bit of a break, so we apologize, but we'll see you in a few minutes. So don't turn off that dial, to say the least. We'll catch y'all soon, all right? Ah, you gotta come back! It's time for Omega Strikers yet again. We are back with another match. As amazing as it always is. And specifically, though, we're going in here to Forfeit Faster versus Contrarians. I mean, some pretty, pretty yapper names. They're already putting themselves out there. Let's hope their skills back it up, is all I'm gonna say.
Forfeit Faster, you gotta be pretty confident to have a name like that. I mean, if I saw that, I'm either... my blood is gonna start to boil and I'm gonna play out of my mind, or it's gonna be the worst game of my life.
Well, we'll have to see. Oh, sorry, what did you say?
No, you're good.
We'll have to see how Contrarians responds to that, at least. See if they agree with you on that.
They're gonna say on the contrary.
Oh!
That's what's gonna happen.
You're right. I mean, I guess this is the biggest match of all time.
It's gonna be the Uno reverse card. They're gonna flip it on their head and they're gonna win it, and Forfeit Faster are gonna be the ones who forfeit. I mean,
the Uno reverse card.
The Uno reverse card. It's classic.
Well, speaking of the match, I've now realized, I should have known this before, but I've now realized it turns out the Swiss games actually have a fixed map pool. So the teams are not choosing the maps, they're being given specific maps. In this case, we're going into Aten City. If you're not familiar with the map, it has a lot of orbs, and we talked a bit about Orb Awakenings earlier with Orb Dancer, Orb Ponderer in the pool. Those are going to be the Awakenings of Focus. Or at least some of the Awakenings of Focus going into this. I'm not really a fan of Aten, but what do you think about it?
Me personally, I like how open Aten is. I like that it's free of obstructions and hazards, and that the only time you really... it's not really a brawling map, which is honestly weird considering I'm a brawler player, but I actually quite like Aten. I like how open it is. I don't like it whenever there's Orb Awakenings. There are just so many orbs you need to deny, and it's just, it's a struggle to keep up, no matter what side you're on. And thank goodness that Replicator is out of the pool, because this map would still be nightmarish if Replicator was still a thing.
Yeah, I remember when Replicator was introduced and that happened. That was, I'm just glad it's not a thing anymore. But, my gripe with this map is, as a goalie, you basically just, ignore the barrier, because it's just a giant barrier that covers the whole goal anyway. So, I basically just play the map like there's no barrier. And that means I have to cover a lot of angles, especially if you, hit overtime and someone's running, Honestly, I should just learn, Team Player Kazan for this map, because I feel like the core speed would make this map a lot easier. But I don't bother playing Kazan, so I haven't done that. But that's something to consider. If you got a lot of core speed and personal speed, this map is a lot better for you, as well as if you've got characters that are going to cover a lot of the map, like Estelle is a very classic pick, Rasmus, Aimee, Juno, etc. At the very least, it's usually not very prone to damage since it's harder to kill. We'll have to see how those teams respond to that as we are loading into the match.
Loading in, and we're going to see our striker picks, because our Awakenings, yet again, can't be seen by spectators just yet. But Aten City! There it is, baby! The most open map in the entire game, and it looks like, at least in the pre-draft, we've got a few options. We've got Asher, Rasmus, now... Looks like some good pre-pick options, but we'll have to see how they maybe change their comp, or how they change their comp depending on what they need. But ban phase is coming out. We'll have to see what they choose to ban, if anything. And Juno, it looks like, is on the chopping block, but Rasmus will be banned by the other side, and we'll have to see how they can adapt to those bans. What do you think of a Rasmus ban or a Juno ban on this map?
Well, I did mention those two characters really got the core control, which is part of what you want on this map to work with, the openness and to prevent enemies. So those are pretty, at least standard bans for me. Although usually you'd normally see an Estelle ban, but maybe none of these... Yeah, there's no Estelle on the field anyway. I guess none of these players have a big Estelle player to worry about that. But we are going to see, looks like Asher goalie here on the side of Forfeit Faster. Oh, okay. A powerhouse Pauldron's Asher goalie with 1-2 punch is definitely a pick. It's not a pick I would recommend. But otherwise, we got Now and Kazan coming up. Two very good characters for core control and support, so very powerful on that. But additionally, on the side of Contrarians, Kai goalie, very classic pick. And with Zen and Aimee, they can definitely push that offense.
Agreed. And Kazan and Zentaro aren't really people who you would think would get for core control, but speaking of core control, a strike second from Elwick will end up sealing the first goal of this match.
Yeah, Now has those strikes on deck on top of the primary hitboxes you can throw out. Being able to not only use those primaries for the set play, but also for the close range strike wars. It makes Now a very powerful character when you know what you're doing with the abilities. Great defense there though from Kayusha, being able to prevent the Zen picking up a barrier. Very powerful here. Going to keep the advantage up for Forfeit Faster as we continue this round.
Agreed. And as we can see, the comp from Forfeit Faster is really good on their core control. Not a whole lot of damage, which is exactly what you want to see on a map like this, with Kazan and Now, both really highly contested characters, and a Now secondary will end up, or a Now primary will actually end up sending the ball into the goal. Expos not really expecting it, but that that primary does have a small hit attached to it. Core flip available for Elwick. We'll have to see what they can do with it.
Yeah, still though, Rhyme Forever going to be picking up a great barrier there. Finally, the advantage is instead on the side of Contrarians, although Flip here is going to move the core. It is already back though, and with NB having a flip, but not quite anymore. I was about to say they got a good advantage coming up here. Evened out though, both teams now gone with the barrier. Barriers don't mean much on this map, and unfortunately for NB, the Now turns out they had the Bloodlust, and they are going to be looking for a kill here. Rhyme trying to hold on, going to need to use the flip, but is going to hit it into that Now Dorito there. That's going to bring it back for Blood Aches to pick up that third goal here for Forfeit Faster.
And it looks like Forfeit Faster will take the first set of this match. There's some good options here, and oh no! Orb Ponderer's right there, and it looks like Elwick is gonna pick it up. Oh no, it begins. We have Egoist available as well, along with Hotshot, and a few other solid options. Kazan opting for a little more size, making his core control just a tiny bit better, but overall, looks like Siege Machine popping onto Aimee is also a great pick. Chrono Boost on Kai, making that secondary mat last a lot longer. We'll have to see how they shape the match, but I definitely think that Contrarians have an uphill battle here. What do you think?
Well, I do want to say really good damage here starting out from Contrarians as a response, although good on Elwick for bringing in the Now support to avoid anything too drastic. Damage might be, if they can't win on core control, they might need to start implementing more of those damage strategies to prevent Forfeit Faster from their core control. Although, great play there with the Zen primary is going to get it through into that barrier, leaving the goal open. The core moving fast. Remember, 1-2 powerhouse does give Asher a lot of power to work with here. As much as I do want to criticize the pick, it seems to be working so far for Forfeit Faster. We'll have to see if that changes. Elwick, amazing placement there at the goal. Going to use that second strike to prevent Expos. Is clear and is going to pick up the first goal yet again for Forfeit Faster.
It looks like Forfeit Faster is really on top of their core control, and like you said, they definitely need to it looks like Contrarians really need to find an option here, be it opting for a little better core control, more passing plays, or just going for straight damage. But it looks like they will secure the barrier, even if these barriers are absolutely ginormous. Core flip will come out from Kayusha. Does end up saving the ball for now, but ooh, minor bit of lag on my end. Core flip will come out from NB, trying to secure that first goal of the game, but solid defense from Kayusha will mean that it doesn't fall. We'll have to see. Core flip comes out from Expos, defended by Kayusha. NB Pixel looking for a passing play, but the iron wall that is Asher Primary will stop it from going through. The ball is now on the side of Ooh, and a nice... Unfortunately, Katyusha couldn't reach that one. The iron defense falling as Expos gets a perfect angle, and the first goal for the side of Contrarians comes out.
Yeah, that is the downside. If you're playing Asher goalie without strike shot and without momentum boots in this map, you don't have the speed or the more major ability coverage to cover verticals like that. But I mean, I guess, you know, hard to cover verticals if the Kazan is just going to flip it in. Very fast goal there here, and that is going to give a very nice advantage to Forfeit Faster.
Forfeit Faster firing back with the goal of their own. That extra speed or that extra power that Kazan gets on core hits from his thing, or from his regular strikes really coming in handy there, but the barrier of Contrarians will end up falling there. We'll have to see how they can respond, or if they can secure a barrier and potentially a goal to save this set.
Still doing a good job of some defense here. Rhyme and Expos working together still, though, with the Kazan range that does give Bloodeggs a lot of freedom to strike. And unfortunately, Expos was just did not have the Kai abilities ready to deal with that combined offense. That is going to give, again, the second point here to Forfeit Faster. With these Awakenings, though, we're going to have to see Contrarian's going to have to mount a big comeback here. And on Aten, that can be very difficult if you don't have the right build setup.
Very much agreed, and Super Surge on Zentaro could really help here, but again, they have to opt for a little more core control, taking the ball away from Forfeit Faster. Otherwise, I don't think there's much hope for them here. There are some solid Awakenings that have been taken, Twin Drive for Kazan, Super Surge for Zentaro, and a few other notable exceptions, like Extra Special on Asher may help with the defense, but we will definitely have to see if Contrarians can mount a defense and an offense in turn.
Probably the biggest thing here, at least from what I'm seeing, I feel like Contrarians, they're going to have to try to focus more on those 2v1 offensive plays. Feels like they are going a lot more into just having Zentaro play the offense. And Zentaro is very good, but if you're facing it off against an Asher with abilities ready, on top of Asher having that pass available, you need to start putting in those chances where you're able to pass between you and your teammate to get around Asher, especially on a map like Aten. You have so much open space to pass through, but even as I say that, Envy, great second strike there, is going to give a last hope here that isn't going to follow through, unfortunately. Expos attempting to cover the upper angle there with that diagonal barrage, but Bloodeggs just going to strike past with a very nice hit, and that is going to give a match point coming up here to Forfeit Faster.
Match point for Forfeit Faster, but Bloodeggs not really having to do a whole lot there, just walking with the core, making good use of his patience, and just ensuring that no matter what option Expos takes, that that ball is that core is going in the net. And speaking of, a fast core flip from Bloodeggs will seal the match, and it's 3-0 victory. Pretty handy for the side of Forfeit Faster.
Yeah, that was a pretty well settled match, to say the least. There's kind of a lot there for both teams in this case, but if I had to pick one thing, it felt like Forfeit Faster I was kind of pointing it out on the side of Contrarians that they needed to do more Aimi Zentaro duo plays. But on the other hand, Forfeit Faster was doing those duo plays a lot more, being able to pass between Kazan and Now, and even just forcing it in there with one character and then having the other character, usually Now, back up with abilities. Just leads to so much on this map because the barrier and the open goal are much harder to defend on Aten just due to the size of it. And you have to play into those moments to get it there. Forfeit Faster definitely played into those moments a lot more. It gave them a very big advantage on offense, pushing it through. Either way, though, great work to both teams. We'll have to see what they learn from that. And at the very least, won't have to play Aten again. Probably playing a more normalized, I guess, map in the third round of Swiss. But it's up to them to either keep up the streak or change it up either way.
Extremely solid performance from Forfeit Faster, and an unfortunate loss for Contrarians, but all hope is not yet lost. There are still some opportunities to get in, but unfortunately, they're kind of winding down, and you need to secure those wins as much as possible. And more than anything, honestly, such a huge thanks to everyone who turns out for these, because you guys are what keeps the community alive. 100%, 110%. But getting away from that, we're going to take another short break here. Thanks again for watching, but we'll be right back.
Talk to you. Open your eyes. It's a brand new day, a brand new game of Omega Strikers coming to you live. We are here on the third round of Swiss of the OSAS Series 8, the last week of Series 8, the last chance for these Swiss teams to make it through into the bracket, to have a chance to qualify and join everyone else. But coming up here, we've got two teams. I heard through the grapevine that if you are at least 2-1 in these three Swiss games, you do qualify. And the great thing is here, we've got two 1-1 teams here with Chikara, ICBM, and Cutie Patooties fighting over a spot in the bracket. One will make it, one will be sent back without a spot in OSAS. Everything to win, everything to lose. What are you feeling going into this?
Nothing like some high stakes to make both teams play their absolute best, and honestly, I cannot wait to see it. But it looks like our map for the final rounds of Swiss will be Night Market, which is a personal favorite of mine. And as we load in, I think Night Market quite literally is my top one map to play on. I just think it's so much fun, and it's so much fun to play properly because there's so much that goes into playing Night Market properly, and I absolutely love it.
I do like this map sometimes. The only unfortunate thing is I used to be a Dubu goalie main, and my Dubu gets banned out all the time on this map. So that is the one downside of playing Night Market. Other than that, though, it's got a pretty good mix of everything. I mean, there's a lot of defense you can play on this map, but of course, as you can see from the Juliet ban coming out here, pretty classic, there's a lot of offense that you have to watch out for. Having a big block in the middle really pushes people to play towards the edges, and depending on what other characters you might be playing against, you got to really be careful to not get taken out here. Either way, though, we're getting a rune here coming up. Always fun to see what people have coming up with the rune gameplay. Otherwise, though, pretty classic Asher Aimee picks, very traditional for this map, and possibly, if they lock in soon, we've also got Juno, Zentaro, and Asher in total for the side of Cutie Patooties, and for Chikara ICBM, once they lock in.
There has got to be like a creation awakening and like a dash awakening, because these are some very creation heavy characters. We've got Juno, we've got Asher, we've got Dubu, we've got Rune, we've got Aimi. Like, all of these characters absolutely love awakenings that improve their... Oh, well, never mind. It's Catalyst and Stacks on Stacks. So we'll have to see how these two teams make good use of these awakenings.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised everyone didn't go Catalyst, all things considered. But hey, Stacks on Stacks, got to get that good speed. Still, though, early barrier here. Mad's going to be able to take one and get a good pass up here to Shanks. The defense here is going to be able to converge pretty well, though. Prevent a barrier from being taken, but as I say that, Mad with a very powerful second strike and the banish, not quite enough as Torin moving quickly to disrupt that. Ooh. And the amazing defense here preventing those rune shenanigans from happening. Both teams have a lot to prove, and so far I am loving what I'm seeing.
Mad with some mad dribble plays, so to speak, making sure that the defense of Cutie Patootie stays on their toes.
Might be hard to do that, though, with the core flip.
Core flip will come out from Mad and will secure the goal for the first goal of this match, going over to the side of Chikara ICBM.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you take Catalyst. Having those flips is just really useful, and Mad's been playing such a good game so far that the flip coming out that early, I am not surprised. Good banish there is going to make it harder for Torin to prevent all these hits, and the flip angle, not going to be able to cover that, is going to have to use a flip, but Element not going to be able to pick up. Is going to pick up this one, though. Mad might have to watch out with the health, but is staying up, wants to provide some very powerful offense, and with a barrier down, it really is either team's play if Cutie Patooties can make their offense once again.
Bit of an unfortunate core flip coming out from Element X, but another core flip will come out from Musica del Bosque, making the side of Cutie Patooties have core flip advantage, and it looks like Shinx is staggered here, but does have core flip available for the defense if needed. Doggy Toes actually will flip for the barrier. Not something you see every time, and a little bit of hard offense here from the side of Cutie Patooties will mean that they are on the back foot. KO comes out from Element X, meaning that there is now 2 players defending this open goal. We'll have to see if they can capitalize on it, but Mad looking for some good scoring opportunities in a one-on-one situation with Torin, but now Shinx is back, so we'll have to see if they can turn this momentum around now that they have all 3 players back once more.
Yeah, Chikara ICBM handling that power play very well, but as I say that, Dogitos, however you go for it, is going to use that speed to get into position. An amazing Juno primary is going to come out and take that core into the first point here. So far, a fairly even-sided game. Both teams showing a lot of potential here for some chaos. As long as they can keep up this great mix of offense and defense, it's going to be a little difficult to tell which team is actually going to come out on top here.
I definitely think that both teams are playing pretty well, but it seems like to me that Chikara ICBM is just capitalizing on their offense a lot better. But right as I say that, Cutie Patootie secures both barriers within short succession of each other, really making good use of their offensive prowess to secure those barriers and make good passing plays and good opportunities. And right as I say that, a corner shot at the very top of the barrier catches Musica del Bosque off guard, and Element X scores the second goal of this match, or scores the third goal of this match, rather. Sorry.
Well, hey, gonna try to make the 4th goal here. Element X definitely looking to end this set before it gets a little more chaotic. Great rune barrier there is gonna prevent some shenanigans, and as I say that, Mad is going to be in a perfect position to grab a very powerful double barrier. The Zen ult was just not quite enough. Great passes here through the middle, but that Dubu roll really eloquently placed. Element X is going to be hit out of position, and the core now is a bit in the middle. Dogito is going to grab that core control, trying to move through, but an amazing primary there from Shinx, and close with the rune primary there. A lot of difficulties, but Torin is defending, but not quite in position. to avoid that downward hit. I mean, we just saw that amazing top strike from Element X, but now Mad is returning it with a bottom strike here. We're going to a very even game point here. So gotta watch out and see what these teams bring to the table.
Early core flip will come out from LMX securing that first barrier, but Mad is going to try and respond in kind, but now the core is on the side of Chikara ICBM, looking to maybe secure that second barrier, Cutie Patooties are, but they have a core flip, and Musico Dobos ends up spending their core flip to get it out and does secure a barrier in the process, but a core flip will come out from Dogitos. Mad looking for a play, does a banish, doesn't quite get it, and miss it, or doesn't quite get the result he was looking for. Element X doing a little bit of a dribble play, but he's 2-on-1. Now has core flip. We'll have to see if he can capitalize on that just a little bit, but Shinx and Mad now looking to push their own offense. Ooh, bit of a miss on the core flip from Torin right there. Another miss will mean that they no longer have core flip advantage like they do, but Shinx is a little bit hurt here. Zentaro, or Element X really making good use of Zentaro's damage. Core flip comes out from Shinx. Mad now has core flip. They'll have to see if they can transition it up to him and maybe get a good scoring opportunity. Banish Shadow Shot means that it will secure this first set for the side of Chikara ICBM. Really good plays from both sides, but Mad will secure that goal and end out this first set in favor of Chikara ICBM.
Yeah, I mean, with Catalyst on the board, there's just too many flips available to everyone, and that leads to some very funny opportunities, I suppose, but when you're in this kind of game, it gets very chaotic very quick. Both teams have a lot of plays they can make, and on top of that, Rune going to be denying hot shot from Juno. Pretty classic here. Otherwise, though, pretty standard picks across the board. A mix of decent core control on Cutie Patootie side with aerials and prime time, but some more damage coverage and that core speed. Musica going to be picking up team player here. If they can hold it till overtime like they've been able to up to this point, that might give Duke Goalie a very big advantage starting out.
Very much agreed, but on the side, as well as Dubugoli having team player, Shinx now has Monumentalist as well, making for that Aimi ult to have even more impact and be even harder to get away from, but Mad making good use of his offense to steal both barriers out from the side of Cutie Patooties, now looking for an offensive play, bounces off of his own pillar into the goal, and Torin just not fast enough or not expecting the angle and just sinking it right past Torin. 1 up for the side of Chikara ICBM.
I mean, hey, I was excited to see some pretty banger Rune gameplay here. Not a very common character pick, and so far, Mad has really been delivering on some of those exquisite Rune plays. Great ult here coming out from both Musica and Mad, almost even getting the flip, but great defense from Torin is going to prevent that. Still, the core is just moving to both sides far too fast, trying to make a play here with the Dubu flip. Not going to quite get it through, is preventing both barriers from being taken though. Mad definitely wants to be moving up here with that flip. I imagine if they're not saving it for that second barrier, once that barrier is open, they're going to want to save it for the goal here, and I believe we're going to see it soon if they can get the core to Mad. But before that, Musica Shinx going to have to use that Monu, Aimi ult, and the ult from Mad, but Doggy Toes coming in, and on top of that, Element X preventing the goal from happening, and the speed! Maybe Juno doesn't have hot shot, but it doesn't mean that on overtime, Juno cannot make the core go fast, and everything's moving too quick. But either way, we're back to a 1-1 here in this set.
Doggy Toes making perfect use of that overtime speed boost on all hits and securing a goal for the side of Cutie Patooties, making sure that they are not out of this game just yet, and they will continue to fight no matter how rough the circumstances get.
Yeah, although gonna have to watch out. Damage coming out on both sides. Mad taking the brunt of it so far, but if you haven't noticed, a lot of characters have been taking damage here. I mean, we are playing with a decent number of the cast with Flower and Stagger, and more reliant on using their pushes for offense rather than defense. So definitely have to watch those Stagger bars. Great play there with the Aimi primary. Going to keep the core up, and that's going to give a great chance for Mad to move in, getting that barrier. Mad pushed up with the flip. Again, Catalyst is giving so much value to these teams. Although, as I say that, Element doesn't even need flip to get that double barrier, but unfortunately it is finally the prophecy going to become true. Mad in position with the core flip, even with all those abilities, are not able to cover against Chikara ICBM's prevalent rune offense so far.
Chikara ICBM's offense seems to be really coordinated in keeping the core up, and not only that, but making sure that— ooh! And right as I say that, a KO comes out from Shinx that, unfortunately, Element X was sitting just a tiny bit too close to the barrier, but now we're in a power play situation where Mad and Shinx have proven themselves already. They are really strong on offense, but they don't quite get past Doggitos and Torin, so Element X is back in the game. Core flip will come out from Shinx, but it's denied by Torin, making great use of that primary. Asher primary still unbreakable on the home side, but an evade from Shinx means they are out of energy now, and Element X can do damage to their heart's content. Stagger bar's looking a little low, and Element X in the perfect position to strike second, making the set now 2-2. We'll have to see who can come out on top during this set.
I mean, Element X just decided, you know what, I'm playing Zentaro, and I'm going to use my sword to its full efficiency. Being able to put on that pressure and then immediately convert into those second strikes. Gotta watch out for those rune pillars. Torin, unfortunately, going to lose a barrier to them. But with the pressure coming out from Juno ult and Element X, that is going to lead to barriers going down. Mad, however, is going to take the barrier. Great use of the rune ult. We've already seen that earlier, but the fact is being continued so consistently, Torin's going to have to watch out for that, use the dodge sometimes, although it is going to be harder without having access to Catalyst. And an amazing flip pass there. Shanks not even bothering to go for the goal themselves. They see Mad open. Mad is available. Mad is ready. And another close set here, but Chikara ICBM is up 2-0. Many close games. We need to see the win here from Cutie Patooties to keep the game going.
Really, really strong showing from both sides, but it looks like Chikara ICBM is just so on top of the offense, and it looks like Cutie Patooties are just having such a hard time getting the core out and into the midfield where they can really capitalize on those scoring opportunities. Zentaro is really doing good, solid work here, especially with Perfect Form now going into his repertoire, but they just have to keep the core upfield, and Shinx and Mad aren't allowing that. They're just so oppressive on this offense with Rune and Aimee that just, it seems like an uphill battle. But we'll have to see if they can come back now. They do have a core flip for Element X, but a Dubu roll will end up stopping it, and another 4-core flip will come out from Shinx, but no value is gotten out of it. A barrier will fall. Dogito's jumping in for the second barrier. Now the goal is open. We'll have to see if Cutie Patooties can capitalize on this open goal, or if Chikara ICBM will turn on their offense and in turn secure the barrier and the goal.
Yeah, Dogito's being more patient here, dealing with Rune, which is paying off quite a lot. Unfortunate flip use there for Torin, although granted we are playing with Catalyst here, you might honestly be able to get away with just spending a flip and getting it back quickly after. Are going to have to get past Shinx and Mad, who are putting up quite an offense, keeping the core over on the side of Cutie Patooties. Are they finally going to get a break? Not quite, although yes they are. They're going to be moving through, using the speed gate. Musica trying to roll roll vertically to cover that angle. That is always a very risky play. Duber roll forcing you into a lot of recovery, and Element X just in the perfect position to strike up and get a very handy goal here, and giving the initial advantage this time to Cutie Patooties.
And the classic Rune Banish into KO is very, very true as Mad secures a kill on Element X. It's now a power play situation where Doggitos and Torin are now in a 2v1. We'll have to see if they can secure something, but Mad, or their ironclad or defense, makes sure that both Mad and Shinx can't get the core through. Mad and Shinx now looking on the offense as the ball is on the side of Cutie Patooties. They're transitioning now as Element X is in position to receive the core, but a good Dubu roll will now bring the ball, or bring the core back over to the side of Cutie Patooties. But there's nobody in place for that clear, so now Doggitos will second strike, secure both barriers off of the bounce. The Dubu wall is down, so is Aimee ult. We'll have to see if Torin and Doggitos can secure this barrier, but no! The Ironclad defense does fall, and now Zentaro has flip. Can he make good use of it? A good bank shot will mean that Cutie Patootie scores their second goal of the set, but we have seen Chikara ICBM in this position before. We'll have to see if they mount a comeback, or if Cutie Patooties is now starting their comeback that we were dreaming about before.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they've been in a similar position, but at the very least, they haven't had to deal with a 2-0 advantage yet. Although so far, they're doing some pretty great offense here. Mad already going to be grabbing that double barrier. Is going to give a bit of disadvantage to Cutie Patooties, who now have to try and pick up that barrier. Dagito is taking a ton of damage there from the Aimi ult. The Monumentalist really putting in work. Now gonna have to watch out. Just spending the flip. Better to spend it with Catalyst rather than bothering with the Strike Orb. Very fair on that. Still though, gonna have to be a bit patient. Find that opening. Great flip there. Gonna pass it over, but unfortunately Element not gonna have too much of a chance to do much with it. A great banish, but it is gonna catch the core, which prevents the goal. But as I say that, Mad's already set up the pillar of the century, let's say, to bring it all the way back, and Chikara ICBM is not taking this disadvantage lightly. They are trying to bring it back here.
Mad currently playing some 4-dimensional chess, making sure that no matter what happens, every eventuality is calculated for. I love this type of rune gameplay, but Mad's stagger bar is looking a little low there. Gonna have to retreat back to grab that orb, and Element X is trying to keep the pressure on, but we'll have Mad will teleport away. Core Flip tries to secure the barrier, but Torn is right there to secure it. Make sure that it doesn't take the barrier, but it seems like Chikara ICBM is still in an offensive position. Dagito's jumping forward to grab that first barrier, and now we are even on barriers. Mad looking to maybe do a little bit of damage, but the powerhouse pauldrons on Torin make sure that he isn't in banish for very long.
Yeah, still though, neither side getting too much of an advantage here. The core just moving back and forth. The flip there for Musica trying to force it through. Still though, great plays there by Torin and Ogitos to keep that core out. As I say that though, Mad's getting another chance, but the Cutie Patooties making sure to stay back and really play some of that defense. Flips coming out on both sides. Neither barrier goes down, but as I say that, the overtime speed from Juno is gonna lead to the barrier going down, and with the flip available, Dagito's the martyr of the century is gonna take the win of this game from the grave. Cutie Patooties is not out of this one yet. Honor the sacrifice of the Juno.
Dagito's with an excellent core flip here, and honestly, I want to see what they can take here that will really turn this game around, because now they've secured their first set. They have the available awakenings that they need, but ooh, Fight or Flight onto Asher is a gigantic pick, making for making for better defense, but Timeless Creator does end up falling to Rune, making it very unfortunate, because now Mad is just going to be that much more oppressive and limit Torin's clear options that much more. We'll have to see if Cutie Patooties can continue to capitalize on their stellar offense thus far, or if they will fall in the face of Mad and Timeless Creator.
It's really difficult to say so far. I mean, the defense really improved after the first two games, but you do have to be careful. Mad has been really getting those banishes in, and Torin hasn't really found too consistent of an answer to those. When the banish has been coming in, it's just been lucky that the core has usually not been around. If that keeps up, ICBM might be able to make more use of that in the future, but as I say that, I mean, Cutie Patooties getting with a very good advantage, additionally with the kill. I mean, Shanks is out of there, Element X is in there, and the core is in the goal. Cutie Patooties trying to turn this whole thing around. Again, gonna start with that 1-point lead.
Element X having some really solid offense here, and not expecting, or Chikara ICBM in particular, Shanks not expecting the Zentaro damage that time and time again has proven to be the downfall of many players. Zentaro is absolutely absurd on this map because it's so tightly knit, like we were talking about earlier. Those small lanes really make for really compact zones of play and mean that a lot of the time you end up a lot lower stagger because Zentaro is just hitting everybody with all of his abilities, especially when he gets a few size items.
And I mean, on top of that, Zentaro did pick up 1-2 this draft, so I think Element is very aware of that being the case and is trying to play into that more. Still, though, with the core being in a bit more of a stalemate, Element not getting as much of a chance to do some damage, we're a bit even on both sides. You know, the midfielders having to go reach that core to move it through, and Mad, again, playing some of that Rune offense, is going to pick up a barrier using the flip, is going to banish, but unfortunately it does hit the core, so is not able to pick up that second unfortunate hit there from the Guidos. That is going to lead to both barriers going down. Still, though, we got 3 flips available, 2 flips now, although luckily for Cutie Patooties, ICBM also going to go through 2 flips. Everyone's going through their flips. It does eventually lead to a very powerful barrier take, but an amazing roll here from Musica. That Dubu roll is going to go through. The unfortunate thing about throwing that Dubu log, you know, it gets you stuck in that position, and when the core is moving as fast as it does, you know, you really want to be aware of that. You want to be careful when you're placing those logs. Unfortunately, Dubu just slightly out of position to cover that goal. And again, Cutie Patooties going in with a big 2-0 lead here. We'll have to see if they can keep that up.
Element X really finding and threading the needle right there, but right as I say that, Mad secures another barrier. Mad does have core flip, and he is in the goal zone. It just now depends on Musica and Shinx to get it up to him, but he flips and doesn't hit. Now they don't longer have core flip advantage with Shinx and Duggitos and Element X now having their flips. Shinx will flip, try to defend. Element X will flip in kind, but no. Oh, Mad threads it through, and Torin whips a dash. Oh. Mad securing another point for Chikara securing a point for Chikara ICBM and making sure that Cutie Patooties knows that they are not out of this fight just yet.
That was close too, because if that point it kept on going, I mean, Shinx was very low on stagger. It was very likely either Element or the Guidos was going to kill Shinx in a minute and would have given a very powerful power play, I guess it's a bit redundant to say, to Cutie Patooties. Either way, though, barrier down on both sides. Element, though, is now the one looking low on stagger. Gonna have to be careful, because when you got Haroon on the board and Aimi throwing abilities, I think they dashed into the Rune pillar.
Yeah, they dashed into Element X dashed into the Rune pillar, the classic Zentaro death. But Dogito's looking to go on the offensive here a little bit and does secure the barrier, turning the power play into a power play for Cutie Patooties. They now have an open goal in there. They now have an open goal, so they can look for scoring opportunities here. Mad going up, trying to secure a flip, but misses. Musica de Boss down now has core flip. He flips it out. The banish will come out, and now the core is in a position, but no. Torin with the ironclad defense again. Make sure that the core does not go through, that they don't lose the barrier. Musica de Boss sends out the Dubu wall to potentially keep the core upfield, but does end up losing out a little bit. And Doggitos with the primary will seal this second set, or will seal this fourth set for the side of Cutie Patooties. And yet again, Doggitos will be MVP. And now we have more awakenings available for both sides to see how we can change up this match even more. What do you think each side is really looking for here that would change the gameplay completely?
I mean, it's hard. I can see the size denying here from Juno. Wants to avoid Musica from having the extra power on top of Powerhouse from grabbing Big Fish. Element, I would definitely say, was looking for Super Surge, which makes sense, and that's going to be picked up. Otherwise, though, additionally, a pretty big pick here from Torin is going to grab Rapid Fire. Very important to take that against a Rune who is running Hot Shot and Timeless. You don't want more primaries on the board. And so far, Torin has definitely been putting in some more work against defending against the Rune, and you've really seen that in how much they've been holding on. If they can keep that up, all I'm saying is Chikara ICBM going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with that. Although, as I say that, Element X, unfortunately, you know, we're not even playing on the pinball map, and they're being thrown around like a pinball by Chikara ICBM, who is going to take Element X out.
Element X does get KO'd, and a really good Aimi primary by Shinx will mean that the barrier does fall, but another ironclad defense by Torin, really living up to the namesake of Asher, but some mad dribble plays from Mad, much like his namesake, will secure the first goal of this fifth set. Now 1-0. For the side of Chikara ICBM. Crazy plays from the offense yet again.
Yeah, I mean, those starting out here are going to get a very cheeky goal here. Going to be picking up one barrier. Element X already attempting to provide more damage to Chikara ICBM's doorstep, and I don't think Shinx or Musica are really happy that that's the case. Already trying to deal some of that damage back, but in the midst of all of that, Nagito's going to be taking that second barrier. Torin going to be preventing a barrier from being taken out, is going to whiff a flip, but still a very powerful advantage so far to Cutie Patooties. Element, though, going to have to watch for that stagger if they don't score soon. Either way, though, I mean, Cutie Patooties really holding it down. They still have not lost a barrier yet, and again, are just getting so many chances to throw that offense, but Musica and Shinx are doing so well on defense that it's just stalemated yet again.
It seems like Chikara ICBM has switched roles from what they were doing before, and as I say that, they are getting a lot less opportunities to get the core upfield to where Mad can score, but that's all thanks to Dogitos, who is just absolutely monstrous on this Juno, making sure that the core stays upfield so Element X gets a lot more of those scoring opportunities. And it seems like a complete flip-flop from how it used to be, where before it was Mad and Shinx who were on the offensive, but now, right as I say that, Core Flip will come out and secure the goal right as the barrier's open, sinking it right past Torin. And that will mean that it is now match point for the side of Chikara ICBM. Both of these teams know what is on the line. One team will go home and one team will take it into the final, or take it into OSAS finale, but they have to secure that spot first.
Yeah, I mean, Mad has honestly been really using those rune teleports. I hadn't even pointed it out yet, but they seem to just always be in position. In that case, they didn't even need it. They were just already there. Still, though, Cutie Patooties not ready to leave this. Is going to dash into the Vanish there, but it's all right. Not too much pressure continuing on. They just have to push through these logs and these IME projectiles, and are not quite able to do so, but they're going to get the stalemate, using the flip to get it up to Mad. Still, though, Dogito's an amazing Juno jump. He's going to avoid too much pressure. Good patience there. Getting around the rune pillar is the patience, is what you need to push through those abilities. The Juno slime in perfect position. Juno, the turret character, is already ready. Using the flip to get through is going to Kaz it, but still, as long as they can keep it up. Mad, not hopefully for Cutie Patooties' sake, gonna get the chance to use the flip. The Gito's using that center speed boost to keep it up, keep it away, and perfectly in position to avoid Mad's flip. Has their own flip, is in position. Amazing play there from Juno, just covering so much and just getting it up there as much as they could. Had really prevented quite a tragedy. That's gonna get them that point. It's gonna bring 2-2. Now, which team is going to close it out?
Dogitos with this positioning is absolutely crazy. It seems like the power players on both teams are Mad and Dogitos, but that's not to say that either Shinx or Element X are slacking here. They're both doing their parts and they're playing them amazingly. It's just these players are so insane. They know what's on the line. They're both playing out of their minds, and Element X now has Core Flip upfield, but it looks like they're having a little bit of struggle getting it out of the range of the IME turret. Another Juno jump will not tag it just this time will not tag the core from... Oh, goodness. There's so much happening. I'm losing my brain, but a core flip from X will mean that the barrier, or the goal, is now open, and it looks like they could maybe seal out this game, but Mad, right as I say that, secures an amazing barrier. Oh, this game could go either way, but Dogitos with flip. Oh, almost, but no! Musica doesn't have core flip in time, but Element X is in the perfect position and sinks it in. And, oh my goodness, Cutie Patooties ends up winning it with the comeback of all time. Let's go. That is an, amazing game from both teams. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that was a reverse sweep too, wasn't it?
Yes,
that
was a reverse sweep. That was the comeback. That was amazing from the side of Cutie Patooties. Both teams played incredibly, but it looks like Cutie Patooties will end up coming out on top for this one.
Yeah, mad respect. Cutie Patooties are going to be bringing it over to the bracket matches for Week 4. unfortunately for ICBM, they're not going to quite make it there. But amazing gameplay by them, of course, as always. And big props to them for mentoring and hopefully continuing to play moving forward. I mean, a lot happened that game. It was just difficult to follow, but it felt like, Cuties Patooties really locked in after losing those first two games. They seemed to at least figure out a lot of things. Torin was able to play much more of those defensive plays, started being a bit more patient, especially against Room. You really need that. They didn't have as much of that patience before, so we're losing cores to the pillars. And Element was just finding those chances to harass the defense on ICBM. When you get all those things locked in, they just had so much of an improvement. And on top of that, ICBM definitely pushed back again with those amazing plays. Bad and Shinx really worked well together on that offense. But Doggitos and Element also started working together, and they seemed to just start putting more of those in near the end. They seemed to figure it out. So again, amazing gameplay, but only one team can take it at the end.
Fantastic game from both sides, but unfortunately it looks like Cutie Patooties will take it, and they are going to advance on to the next set of games. And my god, that was fantastic. But unfortunately, that is where both Frying Pan Man and I will have to sign off. Don't go anywhere though, because we will have more matches for you soon. But thank you so much for watching again. It is you guys who keep this community alive, and you guys who make these tournaments possible. So keep signing up, keep coming to watch. We absolutely love having you here, and thanks again for watching.
Yep, stay around for bracket, y'all. It's coming up soon.
And welcome back to our bracket stage of the game. Quarterfinals for OSAS Week 4. We're going to be starting off the rivalry match tonight. Chikara Space Train versus Seraphim Cherry Kool-Aid. I think Space Train's been in these brackets before, but I think this is Cherry Kool-Aid's, I believe, first time qualifying since they've been playing, which is some pretty exciting stuff. Anyway, I'm Lego Mage. I'm here with P-Flare. And we're going to be bringing you this game. P-Flare, how you feeling going into this?
Honestly, I'm feeling like you said Cherry's first time?
Yeah, Cherry Kool-Aid's first time in bracket.
I could make a joke about that, but I won't. I'll just say that I think that means they have a lot to prove, and so they're going to ideally come out swinging.
Yeah, for sure. I know they've been working on their game quite a lot. And looking to improve, and they've been showing a lot of good improvement as well, but Space Train is also a pretty solid team. Well, with Haltine, Oddnarb, and Shiku on it. So yeah. I'm expecting somewhat of a close match. Looks like we're hovering Night Market. So that very well might be the map that we're going to.
That's gonna be a fun one if we do. Night Market, all those infamous angles, that speed boost in the center. From what I recall about like Oddnarb and Haltine, if I recall them correctly, they play fairly aggressive, don't they?
Probably. It's hard to keep track of everyone in this league. I'll be real. It changes up so much.
Fair enough, because I know I've seen the name Oddnarb around, and Haltine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that's definitely they've been playing here for a while, but it looks like we're actually going to be getting into the match.
All right.
In just a second, going to be loading in, so we'll get a look at this draft and awakenings and stuff.
All right. Hopefully, let's rock and roll.
All right, loading in now.
Yep, it is Night Market. All right. Two lanes and not a whole lot of room.
Yeah, looks like we got Oddnarb covering the Finny goalie.
Okay.
Definitely an interesting pick here.
Yes, and with Haltine hovering over the Asher, that automatically, instinctively tells me they're going to be pushing. They're going to be trying to push people around a lot. Like I said, two small lanes. Oh well, there's no Finny anymore. So what is Oddnarb's secondary is the question here.
To see, they're going to first pick the Asher, Juliet, and Kai for Seraphim Cherry Kool-Aid. That's JP on the goalie Kai. And how do I play on Juliet? Oddnarb going to go for the Juno goalie, keeping it aggressive. Yep. The eject button. Plus, IME midfield. We got a lot of offensive pressure coming out of Chikara Space Train. Let's see Seraphim's midfield. It's going to be Era Juliet Kai. A little bit of a Night Market kind of classic.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it definitely seems like both of these teams are going to be trying to punish the others. It's gonna be very much who cracks first, who does not, who withers under the onslaught. Just that's my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, for sure. And with a built different extra special start, you just saw H-Dip actually almost give a dash punch right there. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Aeronados coming out. And a lot of extra slimes that Oddnarb is as well going to have to work with. And of course, size scaling is going to be pretty big in this match. Both How Do I Play and Haltine going to be fighting pretty aggressively over that. Speaking of How Do I Play, a nice dash punch and take Haltine off the map to start us off. Both barriers are down, but Seraphim Cherry Kool-Aid will make a play here. Looking to get some barriers of their own. Looks like Jenny going to be able to secure that one as both sides opened up.
Yeah, like I was saying, yep, there it goes. That's probably going to be the first of many. Cherry is playing as aggressive as possible, and Space Train not trying to be caught lacking. Especially with that beautiful placement of the ult. Chicago just kind of banks it off. Nowhere really for it to go except the goal. This is going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough situation for JP Mac. I think the barrage was still on cooldown, so couldn't really send it back into the IME. Yeah, a lot of KOs coming out that first point for sure.
Oh yeah, and trust me, it's only gonna get worse. First barrier taken by Cherry, flip. Second one taken. They are trying to play as aggressive as possible. They do not want to, they do not want Space Train. They do not want to get started. They don't want to let them get started. It's gonna be a back and
forth from How Do I Play, banking it off the middle, tie it up. Still have a core flip to work with. All of Seraphim's core flips were burnt pretty efficiently that round to get the barriers, and then for the goal, of course, another KO attempt goes a little bit wide. Jenny gonna get a bit beat up there, but a double ding and a really good night market angle will allow How Do I Play to sink it in.
Yeah, that was just kind of a little bit of a random one, but it's night market. Those happen. We take those.
Yeah, for sure. Not the first time we've seen that angle this match. Let's go into the kickoff once again. Already starting aggressive. Seraphim looking for another KO. How Do I Play? Gonna pick it up. And Jenny setting them up to find the barrier. One goes down. They're looking for more. Keeping it in the corner. A nice pass down. Rushing the bottom. Bewitching beam onto Haunting. JP Mac pushing up in the midfield to keep it aggressive. The Slime gonna send it back though. And they will lose a barrier. Not gonna be able to eject button back in time. Does feel a little bit rough, but back to the neutral it is.
Yeah, there is definitely just a whole lot of slugging going on here. I'm noticing Huatin trying to play very aggressive, trying to keep them out of position, trying to keep themselves in intercept position, right like that. Beautiful goal. Splits between them. Just flip, boom. Huatin playing very aggressively, just trying to push and shove and just make their dominance, just try and dominate the lane and just make sure their presence is always felt. But How Do I Play doing the same thing? Just too much punching. That's the third time they've gotten off that quick round start kill.
Yeah, it is. I mean, How Do I Play is taking huge advantage of having that extra size and just absolutely punishing whoever lines up. And almost there again. Almost finds a KO on Shiku, but able to get a double barrier instead. Goes for the flip shot to the bottom. Shiku's there to block it. But they're keeping the aggression on. Unfortunately, it's going to go back onto their side a little bit. The Firewall Sentry comes out. Dash from Haunting will bring down the second barrier. How Do I Play in his domain once again? Corner. Core flip from Oddnar gets blocked by How Do I Play. Has to send it up, but Jenny with the Strike War win. Defense is still there for Space Train. JP Mac looking to keep it going. Back toward the center. Jenny looking for a breakaway. The barrier beam buys a bit of time. Pass down to Shiku. Night market angle down to the bottom. Oddnar barely able to save it, but the flurries from How Do I Play. Keeping it going. Giga Blast sends it back. Not quite able to maintain control. Great Strike War from Haunting. They're looking to send it in. Shiku going for the bottom. The Barrage able to block that one as we go into overtime, and Haunting with the Strike War win. It will be Space Train that takes set one.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just aggression all day, every day. I think both teams already by now have realized, oh, we cannot let these guys get started, because if they do, they're just going to continue to press. And look at what we got here. We got Adrenaline Rush, we got Fight or Flight, we got Monumentalist, we got Catalyst, we've got Pain coming in. So the question is, what can Space Train get over here? We see already Fight or Flight taken, Ad Rush Julie. Oh, mama.
Catalyst not going picked so far.
Yeah, that's
wow. That's
didn't get surprised. I would have at least thought Kai would have. I mean, I understand Chrono Boost. I would have thought maybe Kai as Catalyst, maybe even Era. I don't know, but just not being picked. Okay, sure, whatever. Screw it, we ball.
There's a huge argument for both Aimi, Era, and Kai to pick that up over the Awakenings that they took, especially the Era. Missile Prop does very little. All it does is affect the Tornado, so a little bit of a blunder from Seraphim Cherry Kool-Aid, but they still got the Ad Rush Juliet, which with How Do I Play is playing is a huge pickup.
Yeah, Julie's gonna be running around pretty fast, but speed doesn't mean nothing if they can't keep control of the core. Juno, Huati, just making sure they're in the perfect position to just relay it straight in. And that kind of has been their whole thing. Like I said, just pressuring. Huatin's always been kind of at the forefront of these, or at the very least near it. Oh, near double barrier. But Huatin is basically they're definitely being their playmaker. That's what I'm seeing from Space Train. They've got to try and get. Huatin is definitely at the forefront, quite like that. Now they've got their both barriers down, which is a bit of a struggle, but Oddnar been doing very good defense with some amazing saves, to be frank. And honestly, like, How Do I Play has been kind of like the kind of like been the star for Cherry. Not to take anything away from JP Mack, who has been definitely playing their heart out. Jen's been constantly throwing those tornadoes. Oh, and Dartnarp's dead, and the board just kind of floats on in. Okay.
A big giga from JP. The slime disappeared at like just slightly the wrong time, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the classic Juno jump to the edge and kind of get punished. But yeah, going on what you're saying, I mean, brawlers get it done.
For real. And there we go again, like we was talking about with How Do I Play, that ad rush nearly does it again. Has to flip to just like to save, just to evasive just to save. And now, like, Cherry's just kind of, well, normally they would have control, but again, Hua Ting has been very, very good with just being an imposing presence and just doing their best to keep the car forward, and as well as allowing for moments like that just to kill off the other opponents. This is a lot of blood. Beautiful jump by Oddnar. Manages to get it down to Shiguke, keep the pressure going. Okay, we got full power again. Hua Ting very, very low. How Do I Play? Kind of on the hunt. Hurricane goes out. Excuse me about that. Tornado goes out. Nearly kills him. Space Train looking on the hunt. Cherry looking low. Very, very dangerous. Hua Ting is scheming. Hua Ting is lurking. Shikuge is trying to get it up to him. Not quite. Almost get it. Almost passes. Comes forward. Shikuge, here we go. Shikuge bounces it off. Gets it to Hua Ting. Splits the difference. Beautiful setup. Beautiful goal. Set point. Space Train.
Space Train also looking pretty good on the energy advantage right now. Gonna have some flips to work with for sure. As Hua Ting off to an immediate barrier start here. H-Dip going for another KO, doesn't quite come through. And it will be able to block off the Firewall Sentry for a bit, but Cherry Kool-Aid now needs to look to get some offense going with their own, but Hua Ting with the dash punch off the Asher is gonna take out How Do I Play, and it's another power play for the side of Space Train. Pass splitter brings down the second one. Chiku keeping it up. JP looking to clear to the top. Jenny's there to receive up at the slime in the way. Corflip's got to come out from Jenny. Oddnar flip and return. How Do I Play back just in time to be able to block that one. Cherry Kool-Aid still in a bit of a predicament. Another missed dash punch, unfortunately, will mean Shiku's alive. As Jenny tries to work her way back up the field now. JP running up, able to secure a barrier.
Barely missed that. But
Hua Ting's hands there.
I'm sorry, this has just been one heck of a back and forth match. I don't mean to talk over you, my friend. This has been incredible.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's another ad rush proc off of How Do I Play. Big power play for Cherry Kool-Aid. The slime setting it a little bit awry, but it's just time. They're just trying to get the core back to their Juliet now. Jenny with a nice pass, a strike war win. We'll see the barrier go down. Hua Ting comes back up. Deep in overtime now. Things get pretty dangerous. Hua Ting looking for the breakaway, but JP Mack able to get there in time. The slime sending it down to the bottom. Firewall Sentry up. A whiffed core flip from JP, but the core still in the midfield. Chiku going in with a cyber swipe. Can't find the core flip though. How Do I Play? Just able to buy a little bit of time back in the midfield. Both sides looking for something. Shiku keeping this bottom corner pressure going hard. Core getting away just a little bit. Oddnar with the jump up. Nice pass to Hua Ting and gets it right around JP Mack. A beautiful shot. Chikara Space Train. They'll take another one.
Heck of a pass. That was a beautiful passing sequence. They just did everything they could to keep that aggression going, keep the core up, and a lot of that I noticed was passing not just up, but also having the patience to be able to like receive it, drop it back down, drop it down to the underside, and just again making sure Hua Ting is in prime position for those goals. Just an imposing presence, and just that's not going to stop, especially with this draft going on. Hua Ting getting Rampage. You got stacks on Julie, Castellas on Kai, team player on Era. That's very interesting draft, very dangerous draft, I think, for both sides.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of damage to work with. The size scaling. That Asher is kind of scary with that build, but so is the Juliet build. I think, once again, the Brawlers still remaining the star of the show, but a glitch pop. We'll see Jenny taken off the field once again. How Do I Play? Also looking a little bit low right now. Coaching giving them some trouble, but some nice offense from JP Mack. Just keeping the core up. Actually going to be able to get a barrier as well in the 2v3. As Kool-Aid actually able to come out on top of that.
Yeah, they are. I don't think they are out of this. Like, all of these goals. Yes, they've managed to swing Space Train's way, but they have been fighting tooth and nail for all of them. And speaking of fighting, how do I play? Fighting for their life right now. No stagger, trying to keep up in Space Train's territory, but leaving Jenny and KP Mac to take on Hwati, who has been just dominating the goal end all day long. Just smashes it in between them. Another one for Space Train.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough situation there for JP Mac and Jenny. We're a little bit afraid of Shiku and ended up passing it to the Asher side, which when you're on Kai and Era is not something that is particularly easy to contend with, especially with how Hawteen has been playing this round. One barrier down for the side of Seraphim, and about to be 3 flips up for the side of Chikara. Core flip from Shiku sends it right through 2 of them as the goal gate's opening. An absolute dimer to take the point, and that'll bring Chikara Space Train to match point.
Yeah, Space Train has been like I said, it's been a fight basically up until like these last couple of points. It's been in my opinion a bit closer than the score may indicate, but Space Train has just, it's not necessarily about how hard you fight for the goal, is whether you can actually get that last knockout blow in, is whether you can, get the core in the goal. So, and that's what Space Train been able to do. They've been able to just lock in and deliver, but look at that, traded knockouts, leading straight to a double barrier. How do I play? Maybe they can figure it out a little something, but no, that, wait, and it just full spin, yes. Look, did you see the angle? Did you see the angle he shot it?
That was a pretty crazy bounce. I was literally about to be like, yeah, 2v2s are kind of hard to score on. It usually just results in nothing, but a great placement from How Do I Play. Just kept it barely out of Shiku's range there, and
yeah,
Seraphim going to be able to stay in the set for a while longer.
For a little bit, but Shikaku, already looking dangerous, took just a full brunt of a Giga Blast from Mac. And now as everything going to the front, just everything's coming out. How Do I Play? Very low. Hwatine trying to do their thing, just trying to dominate, stay up front. And I want to say something real quick. Oddnarp has been doing a great job as kind of like a behind-the-scenes support. Those slimes have been doing work in making sure the core stays up there and just is not allowing Cherry a lot of sustained offense. And with that eject button, Oddnarp is just able to be so many places at once, and basically kind of like a third forward, just because of out of the position. Look at that, just hops on up straight to their goal line, hops right on back. It's a very good setup they've got going on. Overtime coming up, but Stray Shot gets the second barrier, and How Do I Play right there to knock it in. Beautiful positioning, beautiful timing. They're not out yet. They're not out this yet. Cherry's not out this yet.
Yeah, no, they're still in it to win it. JP Mac is the first player to hit level 10 as well. They definitely still have a chance to make the miracle run and bring this, but it's definitely going to be tough. Hawteen has the core flip, and about to be another one up on Oddnarb as well. H-Dip looking for the KO, has the flip, but not able to find much off of it, unfortunately. So they're going to keep the play going on the bottom side now. Jenny pushing up, JP coming up to the midfield. Hawteen is there to respond. Taking a lot of stacks, but the double barrier will be found. Firewall Sentry's going to get one in return. Core flip from Hawteen opens up the other side. Both sides open now, and it's all H-Dip. Sends it down to the bottom. A beautiful shot. Perfectly placed. No core speed, nothing. Shiku and Oddnarb caught lacking on cooldowns. At Seraphim Cherry Kool-Aid, they'll take a set, and they will keep in this game.
Yeah, let the theme play, because How Do I Play? Like I said, they didn't figure it out. Okay, this is how I play, and how they have been playing is actually super fundamental. Just, I need to be here, the core is here. If I hit it at this angle, there's no way they can get to it. Bam, execute, beautiful. And perfect form, that's going to just help that, because that's another thing they've been really good at, beating the absolute heck out of Space Train. And perfect form, that's cooldown, I can guarantee you it's going to come in big play, because How Do I Play has been on the hunt for him. They do not like Hwatine. I don't know if you noticed that, but oh boy.
Yeah, How Do I Play's build is absolutely disgusting right now. So is Hawteen's, though. This is really the battle of the brawlers, like it's been kind of all game.
Yeah.
And it's actually Space Train able to get the first barrier down. A lot of pressure, and with H-Dip kind of staggered like that, it definitely becomes really difficult for there for him to do much in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. How do I play? Took a risk by staying up front and paid for it. Hua-Ting was right there. Takes a second one. That is a 3-on-1. That is not good. Jenny can't keep the barrier going, just getting pressed, but they do manage to knock it away for a little bit. At least, How Do I Play is back. 2-on-3. Can they hold it? No, they cannot. Slime's in there making sure that the goal is gotten. Oddnarb just making it rain.
Oh, the Slimes, the absolute most terrifying. I mean, that's extra special Slimes right there. And he did have a good hold for a bit, but just a little bit too much, unfortunately.
But How Do I Play? Very quick attempt at vengeance, but they do lose a barrier for it. Trying to press, they have to press. Really, this is the one moment they can. But Hua-Ting just it's too much for him. But wait, no, they're fighting. They're scrapping. It is very dangerous. How Do I Play? How Do I Play is trying to force. I feel is trying to force a play right now. And frankly, I don't blame them. And look at that. It works. They have both barriers down. Now JP Mac has to hold and not get absolutely harassed by this Hua-Ting, who is just lurking. But Jenny managed to get up. How Do I Play? Also menacing. They are trying to do their absolute damnedest to not get on the back foot like they have. Flip does not take no sale. How Do I Play? Still trying to find a good angle, and they do. God Almighty! Just all three of them. Nobody got it. Okay.
Oddnarb whiffed the strike a bit early. How Do I Play with another excellent shot? He's gonna be able to tie it up 1-1. There from Cherry Kool-Aid, and they still have 2 flips to work with as well. It's actually looking really good for them at the moment. Some big damage onto Hua-Ting to start off as well. As Oddnarb looking to bring down the barrier, but not gonna be able to find it. H-Dip once again positioning up on the top. All 3 of them looking to bring down this top barrier, and it will fall. Giga Blast to send it back in, and another one going down. The hands of this Juliet. Jenny taking a lot of damage, gonna flip in the top. User to lose it, not able to do too much, but just buys a bit of time. And now JP Mac running up with the flip. Pass down to H-Dip. Goes for the bottom, but all 3 are there to defend it. Keep it out for now. Hua-Ting able to fire back with some offense of their own. One barrier able to go down. Oddnarb on the defense once again. Jenny trying to get it back through this Asher. H-Dip looking to run up. I can't find the core, unfortunately. Pass player coming out. So is the Firewall Sentry. The second barrier for Cherry Kool-Aid is going to fall. Both sides opened up. Hua-Ting with the flip. Able to find it down to the bottom, but the no goal is scored. And Lushiku in the process, but Oddnarb jumped to the top. Going to be able to find the shot right into the top corner. Gets Chikara Space Train on match point once again.
Cherry is trying to... They are putting everything on the line. They are trying to play lights out, and they are also playing like absolute to the wall, because like they know this is it. This is all they got. They gotta let it all hang out at this point, and they are stressed there, but they are pushing hard. How Do I Play? Managing to get it. Flip to keep the core up right when Oddnarb was about to jump and intercept. Beautiful. But those slimes. How Do I Play again? Another knockout. How Do I Play is playing lights out right now. But they want this. They want this extra bad. But oh wow, JP Mac kind of misses a strike. Goals open. Very dangerous position. Cherry is in. Slimes are right, and Slime's just too much. Just you knock it back once. Slime was right there behind the first one. Just return to sender. Mac could not respond in time, and we are done with this one. Space Train takes it. I believe that was 3-1.
Yeah, pretty solid game all around. How Do I Play? Putting up the 6 goals, the 10 KOs,
10 KOs
on the Juliet.
30 damage.
30,000 damage. Yeah, is pretty insane, but Chikara Space Train still able to pull it out. Hua-Ting as well, putting up a pretty impressive stat line, 5 KOs, 8 goal participations, 138 redirects, which is quite a lot for a brawler to be getting. That Asher build was pretty crazy. That guy got really big and really fast as well, with like Slick's fighter flight plus all the size is definitely something difficult to contend with when you're playing Era Kai as your defensive line.
Yeah, just from what I saw on this whole game, the kind of issue was that Hua-Ting, Shiku, Oddnorb, they were all playing. They all were able to play up, and none of them were kind of relying too much on one. They were kind of like switching jobs. I've almost kind of noticed all at once. Like Huating was very much the frontliner, but you can kind of see like Oddnorb and Shikuke playing variants of defense, and basically all of them were playing, I feel, much more cohesively a little bit, whereas with Cherry, how do I play? Very clearly the standout, very clearly the playmaker, very clearly the one who tried to save the day at the end. Like I said, nothing really to take away from Mac, who made some great saves, made some great openings, really. That was Mac's real shining spot. They were real good on just making possibilities happen. Jenny Jen was there to reinforce, but again, with that stat line, you can kind of see how the match kind of ended up breaking down. Huating, Shikuge, Oddnorb, all very, very aggressive. How do I play was the main aggressor for Cherry, and I think that was the difference. Again, with those, with the draft picks, just caused it to kind of, it basically allowed Space Train to finish, and that's something that Cherry could not do. They could not finish their offense.
Yeah, well, a good game nonetheless. And with that, Chikara Space Train, they're going to get their qualifier spot. Or not that qualifier spot, sorry. They're going to be going to the semifinals to compete against Will of B for the qualifier spot. And that'll be coming up next. We're going to be throwing it to a quick break. But stick around, 'cause we'll be right back with that in just a few minutes.
It's only getting started.
And welcome back to our semi-final match. The winner of this going to be able to take one of those coveted qualifier spots. Chikara Space Train, who we just saw, versus the mighty Will of B, Steam Whistle, Sean Brook, and looks like they have Gilly in today. Another great team out here. Got the Atlas Lab hovered, P-Flare. Coming off of that game that we just saw Space Train play, how are you feeling about this?
I have to admit, I don't really know a whole lot about Willoughby. Haven't really seen them around the block too much. But with how Chikara Space Train played that last one, if they can still keep that rhythm, still keep that heat, this is going to be a very pushy match, especially like with Atlas. Because one thing I've always kind of like loved and hated about Atlas is just how easy it is to pop that center and send everybody's plans flying.
Yeah, for sure. And Will it be? I know Sean Brook and Steam Whistle are like pretty good. I don't think I've seen Gilly, but it looks like they're going to be banning out the IME against Space Train's midfield there. And it looks like a Kazan ban in return. No one was hovering it, but it will get banned out. We'll have to see what the Awakenings ended up being. But we see the now Asher Mako getting hovered for Will of B as Chikara locks in their double pick.
All right, so we've got Zentaro, Estelle, and I have to admit I'm not quite sure who the last individual is. Like that, like looking on the left side, shall we say? Asher, now Mako. No, not Mako. Luna.
Ooh.
Luna goalie. Please for me.
Nah.
Okay, Mako. Still good.
It is the Finny for Oddnarb though on the goalie spot. Makes sense. Didn't get banned this game. So you'll take a look at these Awakenings are. I like the Asher now Mako though. It's pretty solid. We see Primetime, Extra Special, Steam Whistle, the only one going for Extra Special. Everyone else opting for the Primetime here. Also Sean Brook took a Vicious Vambrace Asher, expecting a lot of damage to come out from the side of Chikara Space Train. They definitely have the potential there, so see if that extra healing pays off instead of going for the slick kicks.
Yep, and right there, that's kind of like what I was saying earlier with the Asher Lab. Right off a kickoff, pop the black hole bubble, and that caused kind of like an own barrier, allowed it for like easy go in for Space Train.
Yeah, for sure. A 9-second goal to start them off. First round's a little bit fake though, so it's quite all right. It looks like Will of be able to recover just a bit this match. They made it to the 10-second mark, and they have a barrier, so hopefully they're looking to do something here.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like their game plan is trying to be a little bit more aggressive. You see Sean Brook. Sean Brook was in there trying to like hunt for a pass, and then next thing you know, one of the teammates dead. Yeesh.
Rosestorm's coming out. Steam Whistle and Sean Brook on the defense here. Still no pass splitter up, as Shiku able to receive the pass here, but Gilly will come back online now. Steam Whistle with a core flip, has to use it there. A nice piercing shot from Shiku, forced it out, but still keeping it on Will B's side of the field right now. Hall team with the flip up. Back off just a bit. Trying to get some better position on the core. Oddnarb once again now looking to have to send it back in. Sean Brook blocking the bottom side. Core flip from Oddnarb, send it up to Shiku. It's going to get rotated around off of that corner angle. The snare drums come out. A great core flip from Hall team, able to dodge them and shoot it right up to the top. Chikara Space Train stays on a roll as they'll take a second one. Yeah,
definitely seem to kind of still be doing the same gameplay as last time. Just a very aggressive, very forward-facing, in-your-face kind of style, just slightly varied because, you know, like they're not the one who's Asher this time. Right there, double barrier. This has been beautiful. Just flip in. Yes, very aggressive. Very, very in-your-face. Very powerful. Very hard to stop, too.
Yeah, for sure. You expect the Mako goalie to be able to hold that second barrier for a bit longer, but the pressure from the Estelle and the Zentaro is just too much. And when you let Chikara Space Train have what they want, it definitely hurts. And now they're going to be rewarded with some pretty good awakenings here, it looks like.
Yeah, with Deadeye, Estelle, Zentaro holding on, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, Chrono Boost. There we go. I'm expecting Finny Flight or Flight. Honestly, I'm looking at all this. Everybody kind of got what they want. I don't see anybody frowning at this one.
Yeah, pretty good draft all around. Really solid stuff. Space Train definitely coming off really happy, I think, just in general. It's a good draft from Will B2, but I think Space Train really kind of came out the winners with the fight or flight and Deadeye as well, considering they've already been doing. So we'll see if they're able to keep up the tempo, and if they can get another potential 3-0 set here. One barrier going down. Not quite able to find another one. A Sad Boy's angle will see it saved. Oddnob with a great back pass to Shiku, able to clear it out. But Haunting, looking for a little bit of a greedy dash over the black hole, will get KO'd. Will allow Sean Brook to pick up that second barrier on the power play. Oddnob, nice snipe. He's going to be able to open up Will B-side in return. A great setup from Gilly, puts the primary right in front of the goal. Sean Brook able to pick up the KO. Thinking they will be Will B first on the board in set 2.
That was kind of brutal. I mean, and also that was kind of like a Space Train play. Just had the Asher right up there ready to receive the shot, and there was not a whole lot they could do about it.
Yeah, now Gilly is the one who's looking a little bit hurt. Haunting kind of looking for that KO. Barrier's getting traded here. As Sean Brook on the top side has the flip up. Nice pass to Gilly here. Run the flip, go for the corner. Will be good to open up Space Train side of the goal. Now Steam Whistle gonna have to find a way out of this one. A nice pass to Gilly across the barrier, able to get it past Haunting. Pops the black hole, but the big finish from Oddnarb. Able to bring down the barrier in return. It's over to Haunting, looking for the dash. Gets it right after the strike. A beautiful shot from Haunting. We'll see Chikara Space Train tie it up.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those back and forth. Who gets pressure first? Who and like who holds? Because that's how almost all of these goals have gone. From what I can tell, just somebody manages to make a bit of a breakaway and they just push up and hound the other team until the barriers fall and a goal is gotten. Hasn't been a whole lot of like straight up. There's been some, kind of plays being made, definitely, but a lot of it just seems to be almost pure aggression, to me at least.
Yeah, I think Haunting's been definitely making a lot of solo Zentaro plays that have been coming off really good here. See right now, kind of low on life, does have the core flip up if they can get into a position. Kind of just getting bonked around in the corner right now. Has to burn the flip just to stay alive. Might get KO'd though. Shiku pushing up. Flip in Steam Whistle's face. The drum and bass will be able to save that one away though. Gilly also looking quite hurt. Both the players trying to stay alive. A nice orb pop from Oddnarb will find the KO onto Gilly. Haunting healed back up. It's the power play for Chikara's Space Train. Shiku bringing in the top corner. Sean Brook on the defense, though. They're able to sneak it right past the drum and bass, though, and that's the second barrier gone for Will of B. Shiku blink ins, not going to be able to find the angle. Goes for the barrier, but it's another Sad Boys, this time in favor of Chikara's Space Train. Oni's Blade coming out, looking for the shot. Haunting not able to connect with the passive. Gilly trying to rotate it back around the black hole. It's going to stay on their side of the board. Now it's Haunting looking pretty hurt. These snare drums will pick up the KO. A great clear from Steam Whistle as well. But now Will B, they got to do something on this power play. Shiku is going to find the Quangle and even it up 2-2. It will sneak past Oddnarb, though, and that's the second barrier gone. Both sides opened up as Sean Brook with the flip in the 3v1. Goes for it, but Oddnarb able to block that one away. And now going to reset to neutral. Both sides open and everyone back alive.
Man, Steam Whistle has been playing their heart out. They have been making some great defensive maneuvers, and Sean Brooks just trying to do their absolute best to, again, kind of like what Space Train was doing last match, just be an imposing presence right up next to the goal line. And Gilly has just been trying to do like their best with support. Wow. Yeah, it's been just very, very sudden.
Excellent read from Haunting. Knew exactly what Steam Whistle was going to try and do there. Didn't have the strike shot or didn't try and utilize it to try and fend off that Zentaro dash. And will be Chikara Space Train on set point here and starting off this next round as well. Looking pretty good. They get the first barrier and are looking to keep it up. Shiku able to retake control of the core here. On the top side, the snare drums come out. Not going to be able to find too much. Fast Splitter gets committed as well. Chikara Space Train's defense so far able to hold. Gilly will be able to sneak it through and open up their side of the goal. But will it be still have a chance to bring this one back if they can manage to score this one here?
Yeah, it's been I can't say that OB, as you call him, been very, very aggressive this turn, and with Gilly just trying to be a little bit more imposing than they have been, from what I can tell. And it's just they've been trying to make something happen a little bit more often. I don't know if that's working out for them, but they've been trying to change some things up.
Another nice shot from Haunting there. The core flip will put Chikara Space Train up another set. Oddnarb, the MVP on the Finny. Let us see the Awakenings come out. Get Rampage stacks, Orb Dancer, Rapid Fire, Twin Drive, Team Play. A lot of good stuff for them to pick up.
Yeah, I am definitely looking for that Asher team that got stacks on stacks. I'm honestly a little bit surprised, but at the same time not. I'm wondering if they were like trying to save like Rampage, but I mean, I don't think I've actually ever seen her with Rampage. Have you?
I think it's a weird situation. Rampage isn't normally like if you have something better to pick up, I think to go for it on now, obviously. But Manu is no longer on the board, and I think Sean Brook already has some size, and speed on Asher is pretty disgusting. And they didn't believe that Shiku was gonna be picking up the Rampage on Estelle, so they felt confident in letting it go. Like, no one on that team really benefits from Rampage all that much, so they said that they would rather take the speed, take it away from Space Train, and put it on their Asher. And I think that was a pretty good decision from Will of B, I'll be honest. I think that was a pretty good draft for them.
Okay. That's the way you put it. That makes it sound very clever. So there you go. Has to flip just to save the barrier, but both of these teams looking very low. Sean Brooks takes one out. Gilly not looking too hot either. This is their chance. And let's see if they can... Yep, there we go.
Score flip from Sean Brook. Keeps control of the core the entire time, all through that. He's able to sink it in. So he'll be looking to make the comeback potentially. At max pancakes as well, so this guy's moving pretty quick despite not having slicks. So, maybe the Van Brace is kind of paying. We see how much damage Gilly ended up taking despite being now. But a quick double ding from Chikara's Space Train, and that's an open goal on the side of Will of B.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe the side of Will of B is trying to adjust their tactics a little bit. I'm seeing them trying to, in my opinion, trying to pass a little bit more and trying to kind of like do a little bit more plays. Sean Brooks kind of still pushing it, but they're trying to be a little bit more crafty, I feel. And I don't know how well it's going to work out for them, but it definitely seems like they're trying something new.
Oh, Orb Dancer's on Haunting does feel a little bit rough here. Big play from Sean Brook with the pass player. Not going to be able to find much, though. Oddnarb getting put in the ensnare drums. His barrier's getting traded, and Gilly looking kind of hurt. No big plays coming out quite yet. Oh, well, I say that Haunting, the double dash, going to pick up the KO onto Gilly. The ultimate caster curse there. And they're going to be able to pick up a barrier on the power play as well. As Shiku in the top side with the blink and the piercing shot. Haunting ready with the slice and dice to send it in. Steam Whistle, not a lot you can do about that one. Chikara Space Train on match point.
Yeah, Haunting's just been an absolute monster, same as it was the last game, and now just kind of like doing the same thing, just with a blade instead of a shield, really. It's been very rough for Will of B to get anything consistent. Almost Sad Boys, not quite. And just that's been the name of the game the entire match, really. Just not letting them breathe.
And now, speaking of not letting them breathe, Gilly once again taken off the field as the power play. The pressure is on from Chikara Space Train. They have two flips to work with. Haunting going to burn it here. That's a barrier gone. Core flip from Shiku. The piercing shot. Steam Whistle able to recover out of the stun in time, but not looking very healthy. The blink's going to bring him down. That's a goalie power play. Now to work with Shiku, bringing it to the top side. Looking to force it through Sean Brook. Haunting getting in there with the slice and dice. Piercing shot. Finds the KO. The double for Shiku. And that's Chikara Space Train. They'll make it to the finale. 3-0 in sets. A beautiful game. An absolutely dominant performance.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else you can say that. Like, Space Train hit the gas and never let up, really. Just a whole lot of aggression and a whole lot of pain. And to be fair, like, OB tried to match it. They tried, but they just couldn't finish. They couldn't hold up.
Yeah, and these stats, Shiku putting in a pretty solid stat line up there. Quite a lot of redirects, 3 KOs as well. 6 goal participation for Haunting. A very solid game overall. I mean, they made it look really good. They look like a finale team, and I think that's what you want to see after one of these matches. We've definitely had it before where the finishes were questionable.
Absolutely. No.
No, that's. I mean, you just want to say something real quick?
Just that Chikara Space Train seems to have gotten into like a very good groove. They seem to know they have the game plan laid out. They have the game plan locked in, and if they manage to go all the way, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, well, with that, we're going to be throwing it to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at our next semifinal match, Forfeit Faster versus Cutie Patooties. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes, and we'll see you then.
Stay tuned.
And welcome back to our next semifinal match. Forfeit Faster versus Cutie Patooties. And our second qualifying spot up for grabs. Looks like an Oni Village game. Not a map we see all that often, but definitely, I feel like we've seen it a lot in the third place OSAS qualifiers match for some reason. But we're seeing it today in the semifinals. So what are your thoughts going into Oni Village?
That both teams are going to have to be very careful. Just because of how Oni Village operates, everybody knows, like, you basically kind of have to give up one of the barriers in order to defend any decently. And at the very... Oh, it's night.
Well, never mind. We just got word that it's night market, and they forgot, and the map, that was fake. So, never mind. We're going to night market, which makes a lot more sense, I think.
Oh. Right. Sorry about that.
But yeah, night market's kind of a staple. We've seen it all the time. It's a relatively neutral map, but it's not as neutral as like at Lab. Like there are still things that are generally better. So I'm curious to see what ends up getting pulled out here, and if it's going to be KO comp, Speedgate comp, I don't know, Kitten comp. It could be a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a now midfield from Elwick, but we'll just see as we get into this pick phase.
Like, I recall, if you watched the earlier match with Cutie Patooties, I would have said, like, Doggy Toes was kind of the MVP on that one. Some beautiful work with that honey-colored Juno. And, yeah, I was about to say, I would not be surprised if they watched that same match. So, no Juno this time.
Yeah, no Juno. And once again, no Kazan. It's getting banned out. No one was hovering it, but not a character that we really want to see. Zentaro getting stole away from Bloodaches there. We'll go over to Cutie Patooties, who also have the Atlas. Asher goalie for Katyusha. Gonna have the lockdown turtle goalies here, it looks like, as we see the Rasmus and now locked in Forfeit Faster with their roster, which looks pretty good. I like that a lot, the now Rasmus forward duo. Really nice on this map. Provides a lot of speed, a lot of range to work with. Both characters are really solid here. See, looking for the midfield pick for Cutie Patooties.
Yeah.
It's going to be Imi.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, none of these picks super surprise me. Definitely with, like I said, the Asher now Rasmus, that just tells me they are going to be as in your face as possible. As for Cutie Patooties, though, I'm feeling that maybe actually a little bit... I mean, we all know that can develop a lot of offense. So can Zentaro. But I get the vague feeling that this might be a little bit more defense-focused. That's just me. Get a vibe like that.
Now, well, another thing to consider as well, Egoist reverb start. Everyone went Egoist except for Torin on the Atlas. So that's 5 Egoists, which is just going to mean a lot of aggression. And Katyusha also took Pauldron's Asher, which is not something we see a lot on this map. It's usually strike shot on these melee goalies nowadays. So definitely an interesting pick there. But yeah, the Egoist is definitely something to look out for. Is when that starts popping, it's going to be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that. But honestly, also what that Pauldron's pick says to me, it says to me, I'm really confident in that Rasmus, in that Asmus and that Rasmus and that now. That's what that says to me. Very confident in their close-up game, basically in their aggression gameplay, and yeah.
All right, the first point kind of floating in there. Forfeit Faster. Torin did not want to burn the core flip there. Makes sense. It's just a first point, but it is also Egoist to start. And once you start burning it, I mean, you get a lot of refund back. So, gonna be 3 flips up to work with, though, for Forfeit Faster in this round. We'll see how they're able to use them.
Yeah, got a lot of energy just being stacked here because of that, and we need to see how Cuties are gonna respond. Flip comes out, round the world we go, and yeah, right now I think we're still feeling each other out a little bit, but that's gonna stop very soon. Do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Bloodache getting the Egoist pop, able to get a barrier, burns the flip for a second one. That's an open goal now. It's Elwick bringing it around the top side. The whiplash is up, barely able to connect. Bloodakes will sink it in as forfeit faster. They're gonna be up on set point now, and I mean, I think you're just about right in your assessment there.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say like obviously QD2s aren't gonna like give this up, but we've seen them come from behind before. I mean, like I said, last game they were in incredible reverse, so I can imagine they're kind of still riding a high a little bit off that, and they may not be too worried about this first set. Although, in my opinion, maybe they should be, but that's just from what I'm seeing, like how everything's kind of like going out. Like how the skills are going out, how they're kind of like pressing and moving. They're still trying to like feel out the vibes of forfeit. See how they want to like what the game plan is going to be next round.
Forfeit from Dogito is going to get blocked there. Put it back on QD2 side of the field. Elwick pass down to Bloodakes. Beautiful setup. Pendulum swing to confirm it. Forfeit faster. They'll take the set. And good use of that speed and really good use of that passing place. Elwick and be the MVP.
Yeah, that seems to be Forfeit's game plan at the moment. Just very good setup and passing. And with this draft, they could make that work even better, honestly, just from what I'm seeing.
Perfect form here for the now. Solid pickup as always. We see team player go over to the Atlas. Explosive entrance going to be denied away from the Zentaro. Picked up on the Rasmus or Ponderer. Still up for grabs. Going to go over to the Asher goalie here. Little bit surprised Torin didn't end up taking that, but wanted the core speed instead. And that's going to save missile prop for this IME. A lot of map coverage now. Side of QDB2 to be able to work with that extra range and extra core speed, but a really, really solid draft for forfeit faster. I think they made away like bandits just a little bit there.
No, yeah, I would agree with that. I also agree with you in that I feel like I'm kind of surprised it didn't go for the Curse didn't go for the glass cannon, but the logic that you said makes sense. We got traded barriers here. Right now, I really do think the game plan for QD2s should be find a way to kind of scare Elwick off. Because Elwick's doing a lot of like setups to keep the core up front and just allowing Bloodakes to stay in position. I think that needs to be their game plan. Find a way to get Elwick out of there, scare him off.
And Firewall Sentry coming out. Dogito's not able to snag the core with it, though, but we do have energy coming up. Elwick first to pop the Egoist, rushing up into that corner. Birds will flip there. Expands from Torin. Able to block that one away. But Bloodakes is not far behind right now. Has the Whiplash up. Torin's got to burn the flip to get it out of there. As we head into overtime. A nice glitch prop from Dogito's. That core moves quite fast as that Bloodakes for the core flip in return brings down the barrier element. And be able to trade it off. Katyusha with the speed. He's going to burn the flip. Pass down to Bloodakes. The night market angle goes for the top. Doesn't find it. Misses again, but the dribble off the bottom. And it's going to be good. A shot to the bottom corner. Bloodakes. It wasn't a Kaz. It was a bait for the Expanse. Some heads-up thinking from Bloodakes. Able to secure the point.
That was... I'm going to choose to believe that was like a 200 IQ play. I'm just going to choose to believe that.
Yeah, I think it was as well. Some nice dribbling there. Get those Rasmus plays. He likes to stand on kind of the opposite side to fake out the goalie a lot. With the hook, you have a lot of leverage to kind of play around with distances and stuff. Corflip from Dogito's is blocked. Both teams keeping their barriers up for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, there goes one of them. I was about to say that Cutie Patooties very much trying to push the aggression, probably because they've seen what Forfeit can do when they get a little bit of space and just sort of sling the core around almost with impunity, I want to say, and they need to stop that. They need to stop that real fast.
Yeah, now an open goal. Torin in definitely a tough situation on the Atlas. He's going to get it over to Element, but they're having some trouble getting off their side of the field. Yoni's Blade will do it, but Dogito's able to pick up the second barrier now, bringing it up the top. Insta flip from Katyusha to send it over. Elwick now passed down to Bloodakes, goes for the center, the Expanse blocks it away. Katyusha able to get there in time, but Dogito's is covering the center, and with a nice night market angle, we'll be able to sink it in. Tie it up 1-1 for both sides.
Yeah, very good reactions on Dogito's, just to like see that night market angle, realize, oh, it didn't quite go the way I wanted, and just immediately knocked it into the goal. Kurtz was just a little bit slow on the trigger, but hey, sometimes it's all it takes is like half a second.
sure. And now Bloodaches with the Whiplash, running it up. Torn forced to burn the core flip, but not able to get it far. Is going to still lose that bottom barrier. As I look now into Bloodaches once again. The Oni's Blade and the Expanse being committed on the defense, but they can't quite get it out, and Bloodaches will eventually be able to bring down that second barrier. Elwick dribbling in the midfield, bringing it down to the corner. Dagitos has the flip up, but Elwick right now into 1v3. Element will be able to make the breakaway play. Core flip for the barrier, and both sides opened up. Element pass to Dagitos. Core flip is going to be the pass splitter. Is in the way to block it, though. Now Kayusha on the defense. Gets it to the now primary. Bloodaches is there to capitalize the pendulum swing. Gets it past the astral projection. Forfeit faster, able to sink in yet another one and bring it to set point.
Bloodaches is just a very constant presence and a very constant threat on the opposite side of the field. They've very much been the one making a lot of these plays possible and happen. And at first I thought like it was to scare Elwick away. I'm starting to revise my thoughts, and I'm thinking maybe Bloodaches is the one they need to start. They need to start hitting a bit harder, because otherwise he's just constantly up there and just making things happen like that.
It's definitely hard to deal with Erasmus moving that fast. Every time Bloodaches has been able to pop Egoist, it's been incredibly difficult to tie him down, especially with that explosive rampage or explosive entrance speed as well. And Rampage, gonna be a big reward, getting some size on the guy who loves it the most.
Yeah, that's not going to help at all. And Atlas, Rapid Fire, yeah, kind of very much needs that, because that Atlas's big problem is that he's always been kind of slow and just he needs some extra coverage. He needs it in this case.
Yeah, always like cooldown on that Atlas. Fight or Flight on Elwick. Obviously also a really solid pickup. 1-2 punch on the Zentaro, hot shot on the Aimi, but extra special on the Asher. Another great draft for Forfeit Faster. Looking even better than the last one, in my opinion. Even more speed, got the size on the Rasmus, and Fight or Flight, of course, is just one of the best awakenings in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Forfeit Faster are just very much in the driver's seat in this game. They have the aggression. They have a lot of the defense. They've just been able to kind of dictate the paces of the game too. And Cutie Patooties have been trying to battle back, but they haven't been able to really get anything very sustained, and that's been like their big problem. Again, like we said, because of how Bloodache's just been able to help sling the puck around, how Elwick's been able to get it upfield very fast. It's just been very hard for Cutie Patooties to do anything consistent.
Sure, and now another open goal scenario, and Bloodaches looking for this top corner. Dagitos having to use a firewall sentry defensively. Core flip coming out from Element. Kayusha trading it, but a second core flip committed from Dagitos will find the second barrier if you run into overtime. Huge pendulum swing from Bloodaches, finds the KO onto the Zentaro though, and now it's a power play for the side of Forfeit Faster. Elwick bringing it down to the bottom. Core flip comes out from Torrens, able to clear it out of there, but they're just trying to buy time. Element is back online. Shot to the bottom. Kayusha able to block that one. Elwick looking to bring it back down in the bottom corner. Whiplash out for Bloodaches, able to catch up to it and sink it right in before the Expanse can come out. And Forfeit Faster once again keeping their momentum up, first on the board.
Yeah, I think Torin expected it to hit like an angle, and Bloodaches realized it before Torin did that. Oh, it didn't go. It didn't come towards, and he was just able to react faster. And like I said, it's just been a struggle. It's just been a struggle for Cutie Patooties, and that's not stopping.
Yeah, Forfeit Faster definitely playing very well, keeping it up, making the most of their awakenings for sure. As they pick up another barrier here. Bloodaches able to rotate very quickly through the speed gate, and now with the Whiplash up, he's going to pick up another KO off the pendulum swing. Torren and Dagitos forced into the 2v3 yet again. Dagitos has the flip. Has to buy some time with it, though. It's going to get stalled out, and Elwick still managed to pick up that second one. Bloodaches on the bottom side. They're looking to find the point here. Elwick dribbling up the field. The Expanse committed. And that cooldown is gone. Core flip from Kayusha sends it back over. Get a little bit away, but Bloodache's able to catch it right back up. Dagitos doing some nice job stalling, but the glitch pop going to go wide. Core flip from Elwick. Can't find an angle on the goal. And it will stay just a little bit longer. Death Touch comes out from Bloodaches. Can't find it with the Whiplash, though. So far, haven't been able to make a huge explosive play like they have. But with the Egoist pop, it might be something. Kayusha just needs to get it off their side of the field. As Bloodaches is running at Mach 10 right now. just looking for the core. Procure this guy the rock, please. But Element and Dogito's doing a good job keeping it over there.
Yeah, it's just been... Bloodix is just going all around the core, and wow, manages to kind of just spike it in from across the map. I know they are breathing a sigh of relief for that one, because Bloodix was on the hunt. Kurtz was just doing a very good job keeping it upfield. Elwick was just dangerous. It's been a struggle, but maybe this is something they need to kind of like get that mental a little bit up, reset that mental momentum, and hey, take one out and a barrier. This might be what they need.
Flip's getting burnt. Elwick not particularly healthy at the moment though, and with the Rampage stacks reset on Blood Eggs, it's definitely going to hurt a bit. Forfeit definitely going to be feeling that one for the rest of this point. Yusha now looking for the cross barrier clear, is going to be able to find it. Path Splitter coming out to try and force it through the Oni's blade. The core moving just a little bit too fast to be able to do too much here. A nice bounce, trying to get it back to Blood Aches, but Dogitos has the flip up. Running quite fast with the Egoists. Blood Aches keeping it in the top side pretty well. Burning Torrent's cooldowns. Dogitos with the flip, trying to rotate back over to offense now. Element getting in the mix. The Slice and Dice finds a second barrier. As Cutie Patooties look to potentially bring this set back. Nice pass up to Element, looking to reposition. Katyusha knows what's happening though, and brings it on the top side. Back and forth around the top. Element able to find the demon angle off the Slice and Dice. Just getting it right around the barrier beam there. Cutie Patooties, they'll be on set point now and a chance to bring it back.
We know they can do it. They've done it before. The question is, can they find them to do it again? I've definitely noticed they've been able to get a little bit more offense now, because if you notice, like the last couple of points, the problem was a lot of their flip usage was on defense, trying to stop basically a forfeit faster aggressive push, and that had basically left them with not many resources in the tank to use, and now they've kind of been able to... Oh! No! Oh, dear.
Yeah, the double flip committed, and the still going to lose the barrier. Doesn't particularly feel great there, but Dogito's able to pick up a second one in return. Open goal on the side of forfeit faster, but Blood Aches looking to maybe even that up right now. Trying to force it through Element's Oni's blade. The core flip's traded from Dogitos and Katyusha. Looking for the shot to the middle. It's going to get blocked away. Going to set up again. The pass splitter on the defense, though. Blood Aches trying to break away, but Dogitos hold it down in the midfield. Let's get it past Elwick now. Dribbling on the top side. They can't find a pass to Element, and Torn with the bounce off the center. It's going to be an own barrier there. Both sides are opened up now. The Cyber Stripe's coming in from Dogitos, but it's a night market angle. They can't find the clear. Cutie Patooties, they're going to take the set.
Both of them kind of had that night market angle go south on them, but hey, the ones who needed it had it work better in their favor. So definitely a little bit of respite, but despite the fact that I say that, they cannot rest on their laurels. They need to take this opportunity, this draft, and just do their best to push. So, like, yeah, Zentaro, Super Surge, Asher with Prime Time, that's going to be a dangerous one. Imi with Aerials. Kind of surprised. Oh, but, yeah, for the Atlas. Okay.
I think it is a little bit surprising that you see the Aerials pick up instead of the Monumentalist deny there. Like, yeah, Monty's not as oppressive as it used to be with, like, the nerfs to the secondary, but it's still really good. And I don't think there was, like, I guess there's Timeless Creators still on the board, but I mean, I don't know. I think if you're Imi and you take one of those, like, I don't know. I guess it prevents your Atlas from getting one. It's a tough situation, I think, to be in, but I think it's another really good draft for forfeit faster, but Cutie Patooties also got some really good stuff, especially the Zentaro.
I think at this point, Element needs to, this is just my opinion, Element kind of definitely suppress the aggression as much as possible, because as you kind of just saw, it was kind of like what was happening before. Blood Aches just getting up front and trying to just control things and just make sure that it doesn't happen. That's what Zentaro needs to do. That's what Element needs to do.
Oh, but the barrier's going down once again. Bit of an unfortunate expanse there. Blood Aches with the flip. The Astral Projection going to block that one away. Instead looking to keep going for it. Element dashing in. Is not able to find the core. The Pendulum Swing almost gets the KO. Element will be able to survive that. A backwards whiplash. It was almost bad there. Taquitos will get a barrier regardless. It's tied up 1-1 now. Bloodache's looking for the breakaway play. In the top corner, the pendulum swings. Enough of a hit stun. Stop Torn from doing anything. Forfeit faster. Bring it to a quick match point.
Just got around it, and Torn couldn't really do anything about it. Bloodache has just been manipulating the core the entire game. Double barrier. This could almost be it. Expanse goes out. Touch, and that's all she wrote.
I mean, Bloodache's just scored a 8-second goal there, basically by themselves. So that was cool,
Yeah.
I guess. A wild way to finish that one off. But yeah, forfeit faster. They have earned their qualification spot and looked good doing it. We'll take a look at these stats real quick.
Yeah, like this was very much the Bloodache's show, and the stats prove it. 8 goals, 22 damage. Cup, the only one with KOs. He took charge of the match, and nobody could wrest it from him.
Yeah, a lot of redirects. Bloodache's playing that Rasmus really well. He was able to build up a lot of speed, and of course, getting some size as well helped. Elwick provided a lot of support, played a really good midfield, and Kayusha absolutely held it down even when the core is moving really, really fast with the team player, with all the red cores that were going on, which is something Asher is normally bad at. But Kayusha, good positioning, and just an overall good performance from Forfeit Faster, as they'll take the win there. That sends Cutie Patooties off to fight Will of B in the third place tiebreaker, so we're throwing it to a quick couple-minute break, and then when we come back, we'll be seeing that.
See you soon.
All right, and welcome back to our last match of the night, the third place tiebreaker, and a chance to get the last qualification spot of the week. Cutie Patooties versus Will of B. They'll be duking it out on, it looks like, Atlas's lab for this one.
Yeah, it is. This is crunch time. They've got to win this one, or if I recall correctly, they are done for the season, or maybe like one last chance.
Yeah, no, this is the last week, so this is the last spot of the season to make it to finale. So definitely a lot is hinging on this one. I think both these teams have the potential to make it. But I believe Will of B has been around as a team for longer, so I think it's really important for them to try and get the win here.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, both of these teams kind of had a bit of a rough go of it in their last couple of matches, but I don't think that really takes away from the skill we've seen of them. We've seen that for like Will of B, John Brooks worked as much magic as possible on that Asher Steam Whistle. Very good. Gilly, very much presence, and I don't mean that as kind of like a slight, I mean as in they were all over. As well as Cutie Patooties, always Doggy Toes being the one to look for, Element X being being a very good like second man. Torin been good. I think they are going to be like battling it out as hard as possible for this one.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot riding on it. You see the Zentaro ban from Will of B against Element here. I'll bring a bit of a similar comp. Looks like Gilly opting to go for the Finny this game. We see the X also get banned here. Might have been on the Colossus start or something. Guess we'll find out. But Sean Brook on the Asher. Gilly looking for the Imees. We see the Dubu Juliet come out from Cutie Patooties. All reliable there.
Yeah, nothing much to say about that combo. It's tried and true. It's a bit of a classic. Juliet being able to punch the lights out of anybody. It's like on Atlas Lab, I've seen more than one situation where she just hauled off somebody straight into the bubble, popped it, and next thing you know, dead.
And I also see the Juno here, the midfield for Cutie Patootie. Steam Whistle, not going for the Mako this game, going for the Kai instead, as we do see, in fact, Might of the Colossus, Orb Dancer start, Gilly and Steam Whistle going for the orbs. Everyone else, including Element, going for Might of the Colossus. That's Siphoning 1, Might of the Colossus, Juno. They're looking for KOs. They brought the Pauldrons out on Dubu, something that we do not see very often at all. The old noob killer strat of size Dubu here. For Cutie Patooties, they're all in on this.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can catch you by surprise, but we need to see if it really is going to work out. And hey, they got two very, very quick barriers, so hopefully they have an idea of what to do for this team.
See, a nice pass. Element had the shot and just passed it back. I don't know what that was about. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, misplay there. But they have another good offense going. Dogito's bringing it back up to the corner. Not able to secure it, but Sean Brook able to pick up a KO onto Element, getting punished for standing too close to the ledge there. Soup's got to come out from Torin. Gets glitch popped off the edge. The size was just enough to knock him off. And in 3v1, Dogito's nothing to do about it. First point will go to Will of B.
Yeah, I had wanted to say like earlier the weird pass back. I agree that was definitely a bit of a miscommunication, and I think that kind of shook them a little bit. It was like, you were supposed to take the shot. What? I thought we were going to mix them up a little bit. No. And now they're at a little bit of a deficit. Yeah, first score, but that can set the tone. That can set the tone.
Nice pass splitter coming out from Sean Brook, but Torin will be able to hold it down. Core flip is committed, but the flurries from Dogito's is able to lock it down. Torin looks to rotate it back. Patooty's trying to get some offense. Sad boys angle, though, from Dogito's. We'll see both barriers remain up. We have another go at it here, burning the core flip for a nice double barrier. A good shot from Dogito's. Sean Brook looks to retaliate, but the damage is finally coming through for Cutie Patooties, and they're going to pick up their first KO onto Gilly. Now Steam Whistle has to burn the core flip just to buy a bit of time here. Sean Brook also looking pretty low, but able to pick up the dash punch KO onto Dogito's. as now they have the power play. Gilly coming back online for this. The pass splitter coming out. Torin, nice dribble to clear it out, but still in a bit of a tight situation. Doggitos will be able to come back online now, so we go back to the 3v3. Sean Brook brings down the second barrier. Both sides opened up. Bit of a whiffed core flip there. But Torin, once again, going to have to be on the defense. The Slime's coming through, but not able to find the shot. Element up to the corner, brings out the Slime, is able to get it through Steam Whistle with just enough speed. Patooties tie it up.
Beautiful, beautiful Slime there. Just almost exactly on target. Right when Steam Whistle was about to throw it, was about to like shoot it back, just managed to get it right on the button.
Yeah, so a nice shot from Element for sure. It's a bit of a missed roll from Torin, result in a double barrier. A glitch pot from Gilly barely touches it. It's able to sink it in. A great angle found. Will be Will of B. Going up on set point now. A really quick one there.
Yeah, I think that was just a bit of a misplay that they managed to like very quickly capitalize on, in my opinion. I feel like Doggytoes kind of like shot different. Excuse me, my throat was a little bit off. But yeah, Doggytoes was out of position and they capitalized on it, but Doggytoes really made them pay for that. So hey, power play now, and all the upside is very good. This is good. They have to push though.
Gilly will be able to respawn here. A nice cyber swipe, street position over the black hole. Dogito's not quite able to find the dash punch. Chumbrook goes for the flip. The soup coming out though. No big play able to be made off of that one. So it would be to reset the offense. But Element able to hold it down in the midfield and buy a bit of time. Earn some cooldowns off of him as well. Another slightly missed dash punch from Doggitos. Doesn't quite have the power, but the flurries might. And that's going to be a KO. Cutie Patooties. Doggitos with a flip up as well, but whiffs it in the midfield. Steam Whistle, a great play to get it just out of range of the Juliet. But Doggitos, another KO! The double comes through. Sean Brook will come back online, but Steam Whistle's got to burn the flip once again to be able to buy the time. And then another power play has to be survived here from Will of B.
Yeah, Doggytoes really making the most of like that, making the most of that Julie, and just slamming out KOs one after another, making sure that they cannot have more than 2 players on the field at any time. And hey, that's as good of a strategy as any other, to be frank. I mean, they say brawlers get it done, and they doing it.
They are absolutely doing it, but both teams still have a barrier remaining. Well, that Slime will bring down the one on the side of Will of B. And looks like Sean Brook might be able to get this one here. In fact, they do. Gonna take a lot of damage for it, but Torin having to burn the core flip. Another glitch spot from Gilly, but Torin able to get there in time. Firewall Sentry coming out. Sean Brook trying to force it through, but Gilly's Firewall Sentry sort of defended the goal a little bit there. A little bit of a miscommunication this time from the side of Will of B. Sean Brook over looking for the dribble. He's going to be able to find the shot right through Torin. The strike not quite back in time. And will be Will of B taking set 1.
So something I've noticed already is that, and this is not meant to be like a knock on either of them, there seems to be a bit of misplay here, a bit of miscommunication there, and it's coming down to who can spot it and like either recover from it faster or take advantage of it faster. And I know that sounds like obvious, but being able to make those kinds of quick snap decisions is kind of like the mark of a good player, being able to react to such strange twists and turns in the game in time for it to mean something. It's just been I've noticed it happens a little bit more often than what I would call normal.
Yeah, I'm looking at this draft here. Sean Brook got the built different, which is absolutely huge on the Mighty Claws to start. This Asher's going to be hitting hard. Twin Drive on Gilly as well. It's going to mean that Cyber Swipe is up twice as much. Well, slightly more than well, not twice as much, you know what I mean. He's got 2 charges of it now, which is really good. That's a lot of damage getting pumped out from both sides. Dogito's also getting the Fight or Flight, which the second part of that is going to be absolutely massive. Getting staggered or staggering someone resets the secondary cooldown. It's going to be huge for Doggitos, but it'll be Will of B able to pick up the first point. But, I mean, based off what we just saw there, if that point hadn't happened, it would look like that this match is quickly going to devolve into a bit of a slugfest, I think.
Yeah, and what I wanted to point out is, do you see the size of these slimes? They are ginormous.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
mine you pick up.
Golly. But that also means that kind of... I also think that's kind of like a little bit of a bad thing in some respects, because they're easier to run into, easier to spell, and sometimes that can happen, apparently. Sure.
Yeah, they are easier to step on, but considering siphoning one Might of the Colossus, I think that's Element's intention, is to just use the slimes for damage mostly, which is it's not a super common thing that you see, but sometimes it can work. But Willoughby are keeping up the pressure. They've got the second point, and they had a pretty good offense going there, and they got barrier off kickoff, so they're keeping it rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Sean Brook has just not been intimidated by this Dubu. It's not been intimidated by the slimes. Nothing. Just constantly bullying up. And like Doggy Toes is kind of like the only one that can really cause issues to happen. But then they do that, and they just like try and take Doggy Toes out, try and like set up for themselves. And there's just a whole lot of pressure coming from Willoughby, and it seems like Cutie Patooties are just having a rough time dealing with it. That's the set.
Yeah, I think they definitely went for a bit of an ambitious comp with running the Pauldrons, Dubu, the Siphoning Wand, Juno, and trying to just go for full damage. But that's the thing about committing to like damage like that, is if the other team is damaging you as well and also out-core controlling you, then everything falls apart. So they're really looking for a bit of a miracle, I think, to bring this one back. Sean Brook just picked up pancakes on double-size Asher, which is absolutely terrifying. Primetime going to Torin instead of Orb Ponderer when Steam Whistle has Max Dancer is definitely a questionable pickup. And Hotshots over on Gilly. This is another really good draft for Will of B. Dogito's build is looking really good on this Juliet, but I think Will of B, with how they're playing right now, they might just have this one in the bag.
Yeah, it's not looking great, but hey, that's something of a start. They managed to take one of them out. They managed to take Sean Brook out. So they need to press this and force it. Sad boys! Oh, but not for long. Got the second one. I have been wanting to say sad boys this whole time.
Well, there we go. And a slime from Element. Steam Whistle can't catch it with the barrage. Gets a good angle on that one. Nice shot from Element. We'll be able to put Cute Patooties on the board here. But I think if Steam Whistle may have been a little bit quicker to react, that might not have happened. And I've said it before, you can't necessarily rely on the opponents making mistakes as your primary way of getting points here. So we'll see if Cutie Patooties has it in him to bring this one back. Dogito's a big KO off the side. Gonna take Gilly out of the match. It's gonna be Sean Brook, though, keeping the offense going, despite it being a 2v3. Core flip from Dogito gets blocked by Steam Whistle, who's absolutely holding it down in these power plays all game, and Gilly immediately respawns. Cyber Swipes gets the second barrier. Sean Brook now looking for the point. Core flip from Element will bring in a second barrier. The slime's coming out as well. Both sides opened up, but it's Sean Brook with a breakaway play. Torin able to block that one. Not able to find too much. We'll have another opportunity here. Dribble down past Splitter, looking for the barrier. Beam finds the KO and sinks it in. Will of B back on the board.
Asher just basically walked up and said, I don't care how big you are a hamster. Move out of my way. And he had to.
He absolutely did. Steam Whistle will lose one barrier here, but another KO coming out onto Gilly. Sean Brook evening it up, though, taking Dogito's off the board. It's a 2v2. And Sean Brook is looking to keep this offense up. There's a huge energy advantage as well for Will of B. Steam Whistle able to capitalize from the midfield with a flip. Bring down second barrier. Core flip from Sean Brook. Sinks it to the top. And that's match point now for Will of B.
This is just rough as all get out. Sean Brook just very easily like leading the charge. Nobody's had an answer to Sean Brook this whole game. Like Dogito's has been trying to assault, and just Sean Brook's too fast. Like, for Asher, just getting around all this stuff and just imposing their will. Look at that. Element's half dead, even with like the 2-on-3 advantage. It's just still scary for cuties. It's just something else.
Absolutely is. Will of B are making it work. Still trying to bring down this last barrier, though, but Sean Brook is in a good spot, just waiting to procure the rock. Taquitos, however, working some magic. It's barrier of their own. Steam Whistle going Orb Dancer mode, is able to clear it out to Sean Brook now. Looking for the play, but takes a lot of damage from Torin. They're going to end up picking up the KO as well. Another power play for the side of Cutie Patooties. Dogito's looking for the corner offense, looking for a dash punch. Hunting dribble off the top side, fakes out Steam Whistle. Is able to sink it into the top. They'll tie it up on set point, but it's match point for Will of B. And a chance, the qualifier spot on the line.
This might be it. That was a beautiful fake out by Dogito's. A beautiful way to keep him alive a little bit, but we need to see if that's a second win or a last gasp. It's just been really the whole game, just Sean, Rook, and they still haven't really found that big of an answer to it aside from getting lucky with KOs.
Yeah, this Asher's definitely a big problem. Torin with the core flip's got to keep it away from Sean Brook as much as possible, who will pick up the KO onto Elements. Tofu Fortress committed to the bottom side, but it's a power play here. Doggitos picks up the KO. It evens it up for at least a bit. As now it'll be Cutie Patooties with the player advantage. Doggitos running up the field now. Has the Pummeler's speed to work with during this. Not able to find too much, though. Element bringing the slime down to the bottom, but the barrier will remain standing. Steam Whistle doing a very good job on these power plays as Doggitos finds another one. This is yet again a 2v3 as we head into overtime.
Yep, this is kind of like what they need to do. They need to keep Sean Brooks off the board. Again, nothing to Gilly, who's been making some very good passing plays. Nothing against Steam Whistle, who's been doing their best to defend. But Sean Brooks is just the force and the power and just the problem. Wow, that nearly rebounded on him really bad.
Yeah, but now Doggitos receiving the core as the dash punch punches it through Steam Whistle on no health remaining. Will it be... will not be taking it there. Cutie Patooties getting it done, and Doggitos, the brawler, will be getting it done. Egoist, the big pickup here. In my opinion, a couple of other options, but I think you got to go that if you're Doggitos.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say 1-2 punch is kind of like a Julie staple, though, so I can see them wanting to go for that. But yeah, I agree. 1-2 punch, Egoist, team player, explosive entrance. Those are the ones that I feel like are the big issue right now. Those are the big drafts. And right now, like you said, Doggitos has kind of been Cutie Patooties' hopes and dreams and life. And what Element and Torin really need to do right now, they need to find a way to back Doggitos, keep Sean Brooks off the board as much as possible. That's their win con. That's their win con right now.
Yeah, for sure. The Stagger Swagger is a good pickup from Element, but letting Steam Whistle get that Egoist may have been a big slip up from Cutie Patooties. I'm not going to lie. I think Doggitos should have taken that. I think it would have helped them out so much. The 1-2 punch is nice, but you're already getting KOs. So we'll see if they're able to make it matter or not. As it is Cutie Patooties' goal that's open. Sean Brook able to find the shot. Absolutely beautiful down at the bottom, right around Element. And we'll put Willoughby first on the board.
Just incredible stuff. But I can definitely see what you're talking about with that Egoist. But that only kind of furthers the point. Just I don't want to reduce the whole idea of the game plan down to a single strategy. But just from everything I've seen, yes, Sean Brook is the problem. Get rid of the problem. They can handle the other two. I mean, they're on offense right now already. They can handle the other two. Is when Sean Brook gets the rock that things go to pot.
That's definitely true. The big soup coming out from Torin to take Sean Brook off the field. Gilly keeping it up and buying some time right now. 4 seconds till the Asher's back. Doggitos bringing it down to the bottom, but can't find an angle. And Sean Brook back online, but an open goal. Doggitos looking to diamond up. Steam Whistle goes for the barrage, but too far away for the Soren angle. And it'll be Cutie Patooties able to tie it up 1-1 and keeping things going. I noticed Doggitos was beating up Steam Whistle at the beginning there, which is absolutely a viable strategy with this. Just Oki the goalie. Kai doesn't have much health, and then he can't get the Egoist proc. So we'll see if that continues.
Yeah, make him scared. Sean Brook is the problem, but you can't forget about the goalie. You gotta make him scared. Gotta make him think twice, maybe 3 times if you're lucky. But right now, and I'm hoping they realize it. That from just looking at the damage coming out, I think they kind of have. That's their win con. They need to keep Sean Brook out the field. As long as they can do that and keep him from imposing his will like that, they have a chance. But the second they don't, that happens.
Gilly wins the core flip off against Torin. And Steam Whistle's going to have an Egoist proc. This is a very, very good spot for Will of B to be right now. as we head into potentially their final points. This is qualifier point for Will of B. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yep, this could be where it all ends, and Cutie Patooties have to show they ain't just cute. They got to prove they got a little bit more bite in them. And Doggytoes definitely trying. Doggytoes definitely pushing forward. Sean Brooks still out there, and it's just they've got to push. They've got to make this happen, and that's not going to help.
Oh, with Element going down, that's pretty rough. Gilly gets it around the soup, and a glitch pop will do it. Sinks it right into the bottom, and that's Will of BE. They'll snag the final qualifier spot for the season. And they'll be moving on to finale. Cutie Patooties not quite able to make it happen. It's an ambitious team comp and a dream for sure. They almost brought it back, but Will of B just looking really, really good on the day.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of seemed to be the theme of the day, in my opinion. That the whole it's good. It's definitely good to have one person as kind of like your star forward. In this case, like it was Sean Brook for Cutie Patooties, it was Doggytoes. But you got to remember, it is not a one-person show. You've got two other people on your team too. And Gilly, just look at the goals. Four goals, three assists. Very, 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 very good for them. Out damage. It proves that you kind of need to be as cohesive as possible. Everybody needs to be on the same idea, on the same goal. I cannot think of the word. It was a very much a cohesive unit for them. Whereas with Cutie Patooties, again, Doggytoes was kind of like the star of the show and trying to like force a lot of things happening. Element X definitely pushing and trying to like work those slimes in good positions. Just wasn't happening, and Will of B was just able to take all the advantage.
Yeah, they went for a lot of damage with the gear drafting and Awakenings, going all the might of the Colossus. But I think you just take the strike shot on the Dubu and the kicks on the Juno and just try and control the core more than anything. But it almost worked. Doggytoes got 12 KOs and Element got 3. But yeah, unfortunately, Will of B and Sean Brook as well, especially, just played exceptionally well there. But
yep,
that is all we have for tonight. Congratulations to the teams that made it through. The next time we see you, I think, will be in a couple weeks for the finale. So, P-Flow, you have anything else to say before we leave?
Just everybody for the finale, bring your A game, because we've seen what they're willing to do to get here. Now imagine what every other team is going to want to do to stay here. So everybody be prepared, and for all of you watching out there, I would say get ready for some very high octane strikers in the future. It's going to be wild.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching. That's all from us tonight. Have a good one.